It's definitely not recording now.
It's recording, isn't it?
It is recording.
What episode is this?
This is episode 5 of season 3 of Shirts Off, the audio season. We'll call this one
Who's that mysterious voice?
We'll call this one Evanescence because we got Evan with us.
Your name in my phone is Evan and the Chamber of Secrets.
I love that.
His last name is Chambers.
Your name in my phone is Cool Evan.
Okay, I'm cool with that too.
I just met you.
Yeah, but you know.
I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
I'll come up with something.
Yeah.
Can you say something?
Something? 1, 2, 3.
I'm giving up on.
I hate you.
That was funny. Yeah, he had to do that.
That was pretty lovely.
I just want to make sure that, because you're talking kind of low, so I want to make sure it's picking up. You can sit over here if you want.
Doesn't matter. You're still on the couch.
Yeah, here. You sit right here, because when I talk loud, it's a good couch. I paid $300 for it. So.
It's very nice.
Thank you. It was my mother's.
I'm honestly happy this happened because this is my favorite seat.
All right, so I brought Evan on today to talk about esports and talk about all the shit he's been doing, because Evan does a lot of shit on the side, camera work, gaming, competitively.
Yeah, 2024 was a lot of gaming.
2024 was a lot of gaming?
Every time me and Evan's one of those friends that even though we live in such close proximity, I never get to see him. So he's one of my I have like a top 10 list on my phone of my contacts of like, oh, it's been like 3 months, I gotta call this person and just see what they're doing. And so Evan's one of those guys that every 3 or 4 months I call him just to see how he's doing, what's he up to. And every time he's like, bro, I've been scrimming. I'm about to scrim. I just finished scrimming. Dude, I'm in the middle of scrimming. I'll call you right back. He's always like scrimming.
That's all it was in
especially Apex for the last couple of years.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a couple years actually, which is kind of wild, dude.
It was COD when we met.
We did that for a couple years. Fortnite before that. Got really, really close there, man. It still haunts me to this day.
Fortnite's the only game I ever made, like, for at least a small amount of time, consistent money playing online.
Yeah.
I was doing... That was the last... When wagers ended, when wagers really stopped showing up, I was getting Fortnite wagers.
Dude, what about game battles just disappearing, man? MLG game battles?
Okay, so hold on. For anybody listening.
that
Creighton has no idea what this is.
I don't.
Ali has no idea what this is.
I brought you on to also explain.
Yeah, you get anybody listening. We're listening.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this about?
Game battles, UMG Gaming, CMG Gaming. There were a bunch of different websites where
hold on. Before we get into this, do you want to do like a formal introduction of yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that would be important.
Yeah. So that way people know who the fuck they're listening to.
Well, my name's Evan. Evan the 3 on everything. That's basically
Evan.
Anywhere.
The name Evan, the word the, and then the number 3.
Evan spelled how?
Evan the 3.
EVAN.
EVAN the 3.
The number 3.
Yeah, and
on like anything and everything. It's been that way since I was playing RuneScape in middle school as a little freaking nerd on RuneScape. So don't know why. I wanted something that was like, you know how they do like the 2nd and the 4th and everything. I was like, I'm gonna do that, but I don't want to be the 2nd. I want to be the 3rd.
Yeah.
And it's been that since then. So.
Hell yeah.
But yeah.
So what all do you play?
Shoot. I mean, to be honest with you, I was a Nintendo kid growing up until I got an Xbox.
Yep.
And then I played. I think a couple games I played were like Halo. I played like Halo Reach. I think is when Reach came out when I got an Xbox. So I had played Halo Reach for a bit. Got COD to play with Nick and everybody, all the homies. And then that was Call of Duty Ghost, right at the end of Black Ops 2. God, so Ghost was my first Call of Duty, which sounds ancient now, I guess.
We're old, dude.
But, yeah, and then it kind of spiraled from there. I freaking started playing GBs with Nick during Ghost.
GB is game battles.
Game battles, which is
for the uninitiated.
Horrible that it's just not a thing anymore.
I want to initiate it.
So that's what... Okay, let me explain that real quick.
Yeah.
Game battles... UMG, CMG, these will be things that we probably refer to during this podcast, me and Evan. Those were ways you could gamble playing the game. So, like, if me and Evan wanted to play me and him versus the two of you on game battles, you'd put $50 in an account on game battles, we'd put $50 in an account on game battle, and then you go onto the local board, or the local in that night board, like a public board, and you put up a $2, $1, $5, $20. You just post a wager match. And like if we say we want to play for $5, that means we want to post $5, and you guys would say we will accept that match. You post $5, winner takes all.
Yeah.
And so we add each other through the game, whatever game it is. If it's a Black Ops 3, when Black Ops 3 was out, you could still go on Call of Duty Ghost And like you could pick a game that no one was playing as long as there were still live charts for it.
Yep.
And go play that game
until
match.
It like got disbanded.
Until it got disbanded.
Yeah.
So what made it get disbanded? People were just figuring out that it's actually
people were
game
hacking.
mode.
People were taking advantage of loopholes in the site. People were just being shitty and ruining the experience for everybody else.
Wasn't like manpower a big thing with it too? Like
Yes.
they didn't want to expend the manpower to keep the site running, so they kind of like
they started underpaying people.
Everything on
people
top
started
of it.
becoming friends with the admins and just getting the admins to come in. Like if me and Evan played and we were tight with the admin that was over that night watching the matches, we would just you guys could beat us and we would just be like, "Yo, we're gonna just what's the word."
Pay you off.
Yeah, but what would you do to that match? We're going to dispute it. We're
you're
gonna
gonna dispute it.
If we lost
dude,
and you
was
guys
so annoying,
posted
bro.
that you won, when you did, we would dispute the win and get the admin to just say, we didn't do this, but this is what people would do.
This is an example.
This is an example. Yeah, like they would just get the admin who's their buddy to go in and say, fuck you, and get them. And the money's on, you can't get the money off, like, you can't fix that. So the money would just go to the other people who lost because they were tight with the admin. So it just got really crooked and really hard to, like, verify.
I didn't really get too deep into all the money crooked stuff, because mainly thing I did was just the free leaderboard.
Yeah.
You know, it was just kind of the ranked leaderboard where it was kind of like you were 27-2, yada, yada, yada.
You could do an experience-only version of
Yeah.
game battles where you would post the match. It's not for money. And it was a way less toxic environment because people were just trying to, like, climb the leaderboard and get noticed
you
by
would
the
still
pros.
get cheaters and everything. It was kind of
Yeah.
like back in the day you wouldn't, because console was console back in the
lot
day.
harder.
And it was a lot better. Cause
Black
it was
Ops...
just like, hey, let's win. I got another thing on my chart. And, you know, back in the day it was like, you know, Nate Shot and all them did 100 to 100.
Road to 100. No, they wanted to win 100 matches without losing.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, a very few people were able to achieve it. Nick actually did it. Not that. Nick Merckx. Right after I started watching him, he had just finished a series of hardpoint 1v1s. And he got 99-0, and guess who beat him? Gage.
Oh, no.
His buddy that when I started watching, his partner in streaming
dude.
was his best friend Gage. And the two of them started playing and then picked up Neo. And those were the, like, when you talk about us watching,
three.
that was the three. The nostalgia of a decade ago of those guys coming up
man.
through gaming and, like, killing it in the Call of
started
Duty
watching
scene.
them at the...
Gage, that's how he met Gage. Gage beat him.
I didn't know
finished
that's
him.
how he met Gage. That's
Gage
hilarious.
fucking broke his 100 streak, bro. He had 99 in a row, and Gage beat him. And then they just started fucking up the search and destroy scene. They were winning every 2v2 tournament on Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, and then going into Black Ops 3, they just could not be stopped.
Dude,
Except by the
that was
pros.
way.
By Major Maniac, Simp, the guys who ended up becoming these world champions. They were the only guys who could compete.
Damn.
It was so sick.
Bro, I ended up meeting a pro that was playing, what game was it where it was Karma just joined the team. Forgot what freaking game that was. I think it was AW.
It was probably AW.
I think it was AW. He played AW.
He joined in the second half of AW when they
it was
decided to
AW,
get made
I'm
shot
pretty
out
sure.
of competitive
He was
Call of
playing
Duty.
for Lightning Pandas at some point. Mox.
Yeah.
Like he's like a local over where I used to go, and like it was freaking crazy running
Mox
into
was?
someone. Mm-hmm.
I didn't know he was
lives
local.
around. Well, I don't want to say the area, but he lives. Like,
This is very inside baseball for fans of Call of
Hey.
Duty.
I don't want to dox anyone, but he lives around Nick.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I'm
that
not
was
going to say
crazy.
that either.
But yeah, dude, I didn't know
Probably
that's how he
safe.
met Gage either, though, because I started watching them when they were playing. They kind of played through the AM scene a little bit through, I think, Black Ops 3, right?
Yeah.
They got a team of 4.
Yeah, they were picking up Major Maniac.
It was a Major
It's
Maniac.
Neo,
I
Gage,
didn't know
and Major
I didn't
Maniac.
know the fourth. I didn't know it was Gage and Neo, but I didn't know the fourth, and they played through the AM bracket, I think.
The longest subscription on Twitch I have is Nick. Right after that, it's Crim 6. The only reason it's Crim 6 is because Major Maniac didn't have a sub button yet. I'd be subbed to him for almost 9 years right now if he had gotten his sub button when he was supposed to.
That's crazy.
So I've got like 110 or 111 months subscribed to Crim 6, or that would be right there with Major Maniac.
So you got into the competitive scene right around Ghosts?
Right around Ghost. I mean, I wouldn't say I got into the competitive scene because I was always a console off. They were on PlayStation when I was
You
on
had
Xbox.
the Xbox One,
you know,
yeah.
I had the 360 when they had the One. You know,
Yep.
so I wasn't actually fully able to jump into any of it. Plus, I didn't really know how to back then. But we would always play game battles on Ghost, go into Advanced Warfare, and Advanced Warfare we were like top 100 on the leaderboards. Me and Nick were for 2v2 S&Ds. We were rocking it for a good bit. And that's kind of how I fell in love with all the competitive stuff, because it was just, we played game battles all the time, GBs, S&D. Started watching the pro scene, started watching Nick, started watching Nate Shot, started watching Scump, all of them during all that time. And then basically after all that, Fortnite's popped up after, I feel like Infinite Warfare. It was like after Infinite Warfare or something.
Fortnite's been like, what, 2017 that it popped off?
Something like that.
2016, 2017.
Something like that. And I got my console and I started playing that, and then I started building a PC to compete in Fortnite.
Yeah.
And that's why I built my PC, and I started competing in that a couple years, and was like 1 point off of like a really big solo tournament to qual for like the big like solos, like dude.
Yeah.
It was a tournament to qual for the FNCS quals, and I was 1 point off of qualling for that, like 1 point off. And
Say FCS, what that is. For
It's basically like this. It's like the Super Bowl for Fortnite, basically. So
Okay.
It's a competitive scene.
Yeah.
Do they have it at a certain time of year, or like?
It's usually once a year. It's usually towards the end of the year, like probably, I don't know exactly when, but they have it once a year.
Okay.
You know, and that was the first year they did it. I think is when it was the first year they did it, the whole Booga stuff. And I was 1 point off of qualifying for the qualification for FNCS, like the tournament to qualify for that. And after that, I don't know, bro. I played that for a couple of years and got really, really close. And then
at the same time, that's when Nick was blowing up. That was where Nick Merckx. So we have our friend Nick we talk about, who's associated with Evan,
who's part of Mislabel Production, and then there's Nick Merckx, who
the professional streamer.
A lot of the M-Fam I think still watches us on YouTube.
A few people probably do. A few I know do for sure. But Nick was blowing up. And then the first big event that Nick hosted outside of like another event, like a Call of Duty event or like TwitchCon, he hosted in Tampa. Now, what we didn't know, here's the crazy. This is how me and Nick and Evan all meet. Nick and Evan went. Oh shit. Nick and Evan.
No.
Okay.
It's not titties. The fact that the sound was on at all. Very
okay, I got you. Nick and Evan went to.
Wish it was titties.
The UFC. No, I'm just kidding.
Nick and Evan went to the Tampa event that Nick hosted at Steinbrenner Field, and I went to work it. I was working the event for Nick. We all go, and none of us know each other.
Dude.
3 months later, me and Creighton are at the mall in Pineville, and we walk into Vans, and I'm wearing the shirt that they gave out at the barbecue, which is what Nick called the event in Tampa, the M-Fam barbecue. And Nick from here goes, "Yo, M-Fam!" Like that, and we're like, "Yo!" We just go in and start talking to him for a few minutes. We get to know him, get his number, and then I meet Evan, and I'm like, "Man, you look familiar. Who did Nick ever?
I must have ran into you.
Did Nick ever like raid you or something? I don't remember because way before. I already followed
Did that happen
Evan
before that.
Yes, I followed Evan. I followed Evan on Twitch.
Oh, of course.
As like a courtesy follow.
Yeah.
Because Nick would like do it, and like I would just follow whoever he rated. Because Nick was really big on like supporting M-Fam on Twitch. So anybody who subscribed to him, anybody that like he saw on Twitter or whatever, he has people that he had like his inner people. Look through Twitch and try and find M-Fam people who are streaming on Twitch, so Nick can rate him at the end of stream sometimes. Evan was one of those people. I followed him. And he gives me his name, and I go on my phone to just follow, because he's telling me about his Twitch. I'm like, I gotta follow you. You're part of M-Fam. I mean, like, fucking support community. I go in there and I'm like, bro, I'm already following you. It was just like happenstandential, like that we already I had started watching him. Yeah, and then after that, like every time he's on, he's just, I won't even say anything in the chat. He's one of the streams. If you ever walk into my room, there's 20 Twitch stream tabs open. Because I just cut on people's streams and leave them on.
Dude, okay, so you might have, how many hours in your Twitch recap did you have last year? You're probably
thousands. I have no idea. I mean,
he leaves it on. You leave it on. Don't
I just leave it on. I had like 6,000.
Yeah,
and that's just because I'm probably the same as you. Like I leave
cut people on and leave it on.
When I was working as a valet last year, I would listen to something the entire time, or I'd throw one on while I'm falling asleep. It's
certain like Christmas streams or any of the streams that I know there's going to be more talking than there is gaming. If I'm like doing shit or out and about, I'll just like I'll cut it on, leave it on my headphones, and just like have it be my ambient noise.
Exactly, dude. Because I don't know, it's just something that's like kind of like makes my brain just kind of be able to focus because I know I'm listening to something. Something the way my brain works. I don't know.
No, I get it. Like,
weird,
listen. So
There's
I'm the same
sorry.
way with movie reviews. I
Weird.
like, especially long form reviews that really break down a movie.
Like Red Letter Media type
Red
stuff?
Letter Media. There's this other guy on YouTube, Sheev Talks, that they'll just like shit talk any Star Wars movie. Like
Yeah.
he's very.
Sheev, for the very uninitiated, Lord Palpatine in Star Wars' first name
Yeah.
in the lore is Sheev.
Yeah, but there's a YouTuber that's like
Yeah.
just Sheev Talks,
Yeah.
and like pretty much all the Disney Star Wars stuff, he's like on the negative side of that.
course.
So like I'll throw it on, and it's probably not great energy to bring into your sleep, but it is really funny.
I go to sleep to the sounds of a hater.
But that's the hardest shit I do. Like,
That's funny.
anyways, though,
So I play video games, guys. You know what I mean? I fuck with
I
that
was
Super
really-
Mario. You know what I mean? Sonic Adventure.
bro, that was, dude. I'm on a Sonic Adventure 2 kick, right?
Is it because of the movie?
because of the movie.
Yes,
Big
dude,
Daps,
yeah.
Big Daps, Big Daps.
Absolutely. The
Okay,
movie was
this right here,
awesome, man.
this is I'm you can't see because this is an audio podcast now. I'm pointing to Aleem and I'm pointing to Evan. I've been wanting this to happen for so long because me and Aleem have had a lot of conversations where I try to explain my perspective on like competitive gaming, and like it's always a very conflicting conversation. Like we're friends, so it's never like annoying, but it's very much like we butt heads because he's like, I just don't see it that way. I'm really excited to have you here to kind of like
to merge the.
not really. I don't want to pretend it's like here's my guy, like here's the
Yeah.
guy that's going to prove me right, but more like give you the perspective of someone who's way more. I never really got into straight up competitive gaming. I was
Yeah.
a big fan, and I did the amateur version. Evan has legitimately played on real competitive.
Also, for context too, it's not that I don't understand. There's leagues of people competing in gaming. I'm like huge on gaming. I love video games. It's more so like if we start talking about like niche topics like Call of Duty lanes and shit. I don't give a fuck about a Call of Duty lane. I get on Warzone. I knock shit. You know what I mean? That's all I give a fuck about.
Yeah.
But the difference is somebody that does game and appreciates gaming, you know, at a cerebral level, but doesn't care so much about like, okay, so this game needs to be designed in a way where the pros can play it. Like, you know, fuck the pros. I'm the consumer. No.
Yeah.
So that's an important like preface to that.
and that's how
because-
we would always argue. I'd be like,
yeah, he'd be like, no, this is important, and this,
Yeah.
and I'm like, no, I'm just fucking playing Call of Duty. You know what I mean?
yeah, we would get off on arguments that shouldn't have even happened because like he'd say, well, this is bogus, and I'd be like, well, it's like that because the pros need blah blah. I'd be all pretentious and dumb about like pro COD shit,
And I'm
I'll-
over here playing Lego Star Wars.
Yeah, and Crane's over here like, well, I think you're both
Yeah,
ridiculous.
I'm huge into single player games like
Yeah, yeah.
RDR, fucking GTA, LA Noir, like
See,
all
but-
the like
What
where
I-
you go and play a story.
What I like
It's
to add to that though, no, you know, I cut you off.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
so
good.
sorry. I'm sorry. What that is though is that I feel like a lot of people, because like, all right, so I'm really big on single player games, but I like a multiplayer game that gives me a single player experience that I can enjoy with a friend.
Yes.
And what I mean with that is a lot of people like they like single player because, and this isn't the case of Crane, but a lot of people. My little brother, for example, be like, bro, GTA, like, you know, you can do so much stuff and you can this and that. You can, like, really, like, live a life and have it. I'm like, okay, you like RPGs. You just don't know that you like RPGs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because the only RPG you've ever been introduced to are RPG elements in this action-adventure fucking
Exactly.
simulator game. You know what I mean? So a lot of people really just, like, they like the idea of, like, if I'm going to game, I want to be able to get lost in this world. And you can get lost in the sweat of Call of Duty, the competition of Call of Duty,
Yeah.
but you're not waking up feeling like you got to throw a vest on and stuff. But people want to play a game where they're like, I feel like I got a sword on my back. You know what I mean?
I mean, you get too deep into that competitive scene, bro. I feel like I'm running around with a freaking UMP-45 going at people. You know what I mean?
Touche.
Like,
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
It just
You
is what it
dream
is.
about it.
Dude, no,
I used to
actually,
play Gears of War so much that I like couldn't get restful sleep because my sleep pattern would get interrupted by thinking I'm playing Gears of War, and I would just dream
bro.
that I'm in Gears of War playing it, and I'd wake up like amped, like I would not get good rest.
You
And
know
I'd,
they
like,
use you as the case studies on why video games are bad.
for sure. I'm definitely like I'm not neurotypical.
No,
I'm not a person.
Neither
that
am
needs to
I.
be
I can't
doing
even
it.
lie. Like I feel like as much as I could have got lost in video games, it really just boils down to like there was just enough coochie to keep me deep out of it. Not saying the people in the game don't get, you know what I mean? But I was like, man,
You would have
the
been one of
bitches.
us.
yeah, which I really am, but like not that deep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I became for a while there like how there are like out of shape like fat dudes who talk about sports as if they could do it. I was one of those guys who got so into it that I felt like I knew everything. and was like, I need to just play The Last of Us and relax for a while. Yeah. I need to play God of War, I need to play The Last of Us, I need to stop getting on this competitive mindset like I know what I'm talking about. And it made me... It's a toxic world, that fucking pro gamer shit.
I was like that with Reach. I loved the multiplayer for Reach.
Yeah.
Like, especially
it's the only multiplayer I've ever heard him really talk about.
It was so
or SWAT.
good.
Dude, SWAT was the shit. Like, if you want to get in there, just fucking like...
SWAT was great.
Oh, dude.
Which one was SWAT?
That's
SWAT's
where you can
the
only
one
kill people by headshot.
It's like the hardcore.
Okay. Yeah.
You had, everyone had VR. That's VR pistol class.
Yeah, you're a four-man team.
Okay.
It's a four-man team, and you play for like
SWAT
I think
was the
like
game mode.
15 minutes.
I think there was
or something
a game
like
called SWAT that I'm thinking of. I
probably
think that's what you were talking about.
There's probably also a game called SWAT.
They probably still do some form of SWAT. I don't know.
No, it's hard. It's hardcore Halo. Like that's essentially like
dude.
It's Halo's.
I think
hardcore mode.
you don't have shields either. You
Nope.
might have shields.
No, it's one shot headshot because if you get shot in the head, you are going to die.
Yeah,
there's no shield, there's no nothing. You have no health.
It's great. I used to fucking.
Dude,
I
Halo
love
was
that shit.
especially really fun, man. We got in a Halo kick a little bit too, and that game is solid. I still love watching Halo competitive.
We played Reach last night. Me and him.
Yeah, we played Firefight and listened to a Protect Our Parts tour.
Dude, Firefight
podcast,
is like the best zombies ever made. You know what I mean?
Oh, you're thinking about Infection?
No, Firefight. You know what I mean? Firefight is like the best
because zombies.
It's
round combat.
Yeah,
it's round-based
survival. Yeah, like ever.
Come on now, man. You're the host. What you got?
I was thinking about Infection. Also, I threw up a little bit.
No, but when you think about Call of Duty Zombies, you don't get infected in Call of Duty Zombies. Yeah. Come on, man. Keep up with the pros.
That's true.
Keep up with the pros. Who is this guy?
I love Infection, though. Infection is great.
You sound disgusting. And you live in the South? Screaming, I love Infection? You whore. Yeah. You whore.
Infection's great. And when they started making people look all, like, zombie-ish on, like, 4 and 5... Like Halo 4 and 5, but that's when it kind of dropped off.
Call of Duty Advanced Warfare Infection was one of the best ones because every map had glitches. Every map had like little hidden rooms you could go hide in and just make the people crazy because you just shoot them from outside the map and they have to like glitch their way in while you're shooting them. It's hilarious.
Jetpack CODs were just alpha, man.
They were better.
I really wish people didn't.
We complained when they happened because we wanted something to complain about, and we didn't realize what we were pushing away.
It was
Black Ops 3,
so
to this day, to me, and Advanced Warfare are the greatest Call of Duties they've ever made.
Yes, but I'm still an Infinite Warfare lover too, man. Everyone hates that game.
I think I hated that game because
the competitive scene was fun to watch. I don't know. I didn't play it.
I love the.
But it was super fun to watch, and playing the multiplayer for me was really fun.
I think that game, the reason people hate on it the most of the Jetpack CODs is because it was the peak of us complaining, but it was also the first Call of Duty in that line of terrible Call of Duties that they put no time into, like, getting
They were
ready.
pumping them motherfuckers.
Yeah,
every year.
They're
still doing it. They're still doing it every year.
It was like Assassin's Creed games there for a minute.
Because
Assassin's Creed used to be once a year, too.
Infinite Warfare was technically the longest COD or Jetpack COD that they had time to, like, work on. You know, because it was last in the cycle.
But the crunch time, it was the beginning of the crunch time cycle in creating video games, and that's why it came out so bad. It had terrible glitches. It looked terrible. It wasn't pleasing to... Bro, if you go back and play Black Ops 3 right now, it is beautiful. That game holds up better than
Black Ops 1
Call of
really
Duty.
good.
I don't know, man. I just have a soft spot in my heart for IW. I don't know.
Did you ever play Cold War?
Oh yeah, I love Cold War is probably my best COD I've ever played.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, that was the COD that
Evan was disgusting on Cold War.
That was the COD that I started competing.
I watched him on Twitch more during Cold War than any time since or before.
Dude, Cold War, either that or Vanguard, but Cold War and Vanguard are my two really, really like peak COD moments. Just because I don't know, Cold War I was pretty fucking good at. I just needed the experience.
Yeah.
You know? Like, it was kind of just talent that got me through that game, and then my experience was low, because I actually never played competitive COD before.
Yeah.
I just watched it. And the two very, very different things between playing it and deciding what you needed to do in the moment, or actually just watching it and being like, oh, bro, he should have wrapped around the B-bomb there, you know?
When I was...
Very, very different things.
When I was playing UMGs and wagers and stuff in Black Ops 3, I was just getting into Call of Duty, so I didn't feel good enough to, like, really... Like, I wasn't wagering nearly as much as I was doing XP matches. So I was just doing it for experience to get better. By the time Cold War came out, if the wager scene had been a thing, Cold War was the only game I ever felt confident in on Call of Duty where I was like, I'll post a $5. $5
yeah.
$1 and $2 wagers are like for everybody. $5 wagers is
dude.
where you're gonna start seeing like the major maniacs of the world.
Yeah.
And they're just like, yeah, I'll take a free $5 free $5 bill. That would have been the only Call of Duty. Other than now, I would go play Black Ops. I play anyone in Black Ops 3.
Yeah.
I got to where Black Ops 3 I played every year until Black Ops 4 came out. Like IW came out, I was playing Black Ops.
Well, no, there was a gap. There was a gap.
It was a long time,
was a
and
gap.
so I was by the end of
bad,
the Black
man.
Ops 3 era where it still had live servers and people were playing it. I was getting matched up in all of the Call of Duty off seasons. All the pros went and played Black Ops 3. It was the only game they played for 6 years.
They still played it.
They still play it.
this past off season.
Yeah, in off seasons they always play Black Ops 3 because it's every pro's favorite Call of Duty. Like 90% of the pro scene wants to play Black Ops
because
3
of the lanes.
And wasn't
Yeah.
no, but like low key
It really
though,
does.
Like,
Treyarch has
Yeah,
best lanes. Cold War,
even when
Black
I
Ops
don't know,
4,
I
Black
know.
Ops 3.
Yeah.
They all have
Yeah.
the best. This
They
current
really
Black Ops fucking 6. They all have their lane. This one specifically not as good as previously. But
Sadly, but dude, see, it's kind of opposite with this game, man. I played a good bit, not a good bit, but a little bit of it, and just watching it, dude, it's smooth. The gunplay is really nice. The guns, I feel like, are fun to use.
Yeah.
It feels, at its core, very, very good. It's really just the maps and the cheaters that are messing up this entire fucking year, dude.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for the COD scene, dude, because if I was competing this year, it'd be hard.
Yeah.
Because especially in the AM scene, you got cheaters that are closet cheaters that are trying to get
What's
through
the
to go
AM
pro.
scene?
The amateur leagues.
yeah,
You have like cheaters in there trying to get through and go like into these circuits and qualify, cheating, and the maps aren't that good, and you probably have people that aren't as passionate because of all that, and I feel bad for them this year, man.
it's like any pro video game now is like cheating is the number one reason people don't do it anymore. Like there was like 10 years there where competitive gaming was great because all the best people were doing it. And now there's like no big names because like no one cares about watching it. It's like Michael Jordan. Like you can't cheat in basketball the same way you could cheat in a video game.
Yeah, bro.
And so like, you have all these fields. For a second there, no one knew how to cheat. Now anyone, you can just go on Google and be like, how do I cheat?
6 cheats.
Like Timothy Chalamet talks about how he cheated in Call of Duty all the time. Like that dude was a big cheater.
It's a cultural thing though. We talk about like if the streaming era is responsible for a lot of that. Like you know what I mean? The idea of like quick and I mean also because I'll put it to you guys like this: when it comes to like making money off of competitive gaming, that's not privy to the average person. As much as I like game, like I'm fucking 1,000 hours deep in Skyrim, love fucking video games. I wasn't in the scene enough to know that I could fucking make money playing Call of Duty, nor was I good enough. But the idea, like, so outside of like the profit margins for like the competitive gaming, people want to be famous, man. And like we're in a generation where people are like, okay, so this person's really good at video games and they're famous. And we don't have people that want to be famous because they have a message. We don't have people that want to be famous for any reason other than they want to be seen. And weirdly enough, video games are this really nice niche pocket where you can get seen if you're really good. And I feel like that's, influenced a lot of cheaters because outside of that, it's like, is it just the human nature to win? You know what I mean? Like, what is the surge of like cheats and stuff? Like, do you really want to win that bad?
I don't know. I think the fame thing really does have something to do with it.
Absolutely, right?
Trying to
the
get
streaming
to that
era.
level. Absolutely. I think PC kind of messed it too. Because once the whole PC competitive came out, because of
it
how
opened the floodgates of what was possible to
everything,
what cheating even could be.
Yeah.
Now it's like you can just start the game and just win. Like just have it code you to win.
Yeah.
Like the game will just end.
It's because
ridiculous.
of the access you have to be able to like get into things with a PC. It just blew it up, bro.
Oh yeah.
It just really blew it up. Like console is a lot harder and a lot.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of pro
more
Call of Duty,
secure.
specifically players asking like, can we take this back to console for like when we're doing LANs, when we're doing all of this, because it makes it easier to like not worry about cheaters.
Yeah, COD actually just announced, I think, a couple days ago that console players can turn off crossplay and play ranked play with just consoles now.
That's fantastic.
Which is amazing.
Yeah, and very fucking fair.
Yeah.
Very fucking fair. Even
Competitive
outside of the cheats and
Overwatch,
stuff.
ranked play Overwatch is way more fun for me on console than it is on PC. A little bit of that is to do with auto aim, like you're getting auto aim on console, but also you're not getting cheaters. The 3 times I've plugged my controller up to my PC and played on my account on PC, you're just getting it's not even they're not even hiding that they're cheating.
Yeah.
They're like walling you. They're aimbotting you. It's terrible. Like, and I'm good enough to recognize when people are just really good on mouse and keyboard.
Or like
There's
just
a
actually
difference
just
between
beaming
that.
you.
There's a difference
headshots,
between it just like snapping to you and killing
100%.
you.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing too. Like cheating has become such a fucking problem that like you're at a point now where even like the average gamer can spot it. You know, we all have our like,
100%.
oh, they're hacking, they're cheating, but it's like, no, nigga, it don't snap like that.
Yeah,
I know it don't snap like that.
100%. Dude.
You know what I mean?
That's why I really hope something changes.
Yeah, like an actual Ricochet, like what Ricochet promises, but like for real, because it really does suck. Because like at the end of the day, like I like competition in any avenue. You know what I mean? If you show me fucking competitive maids, like who could really get that damn floor squeaky? Like I just like the idea of like we can all do anything, but some of us are just inclined to do it better. And when it comes to gaming, it's cool as fuck that a market even opened up. Like, you know, outside of like, we pay athletes way too much money. We don't pay fucking doctors and teachers. We don't pay teachers enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not here for the fucking capitalist side of things. But the reality that gaming not only has stuck to culture so heavily, but that people are so good at it. Like there are skill gaps. Like there is like I can think quicker than you. My thumbs move faster than you. I can not only that, but like even when you get into the realm of like, okay, all these people have great reflexes and stuff. Like what's your IQ? Like how much do you know ball? The fact that gaming has reached a point like that, and that whether it be people who just want to be famous, whether it be people that can't take that they're not as good as they want to be, it's getting ruined. You know what I mean? In the same way that like, because you know, like fucking hacks and shit are basically like the steroids of gaming. Like this is our peds. You know what I mean? And it fucking sucks. Because I tell you what, guys, as a casual Warzone consumer, I deleted that shit. I deleted that shit.
The problem with Ricochet is I feel like, look, I'm not a coder. I don't look at the code.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck 10010 is supposed to do.
Yeah, but like with Ricochet, the reason I know it's bogus is because I feel like it is simply a flag system. You flag people you think are cheating, and it just discerns whether you're a cheater or not based on how many people flag you. Because like Nico and Neo get kicked off of Twitch and get kicked off of Call of Duty. They're not cheating. They prove they're not cheating. They show it as clear as you can show that they're not cheating. They're just fucking incredible. They're unreal good.
Absolutely.
But everyone thinks they're cheating, so everyone reports them and they get kicked off the game because everyone is flagging their account because they think they're cheating. Neo is cheating. Like, in my head, he's so good that I don't think he should be allowed to play video games. Neo, I love you. Neo is...
Nah, he is make-believe good.
He's unbelievable.
Because I don't care about that whole scene like that. Like, honestly, a lot of my, like, anything I know about it is relative to being friends with you.
I was going to say... The fact that you know who I'm talking about...
I know who he is, and I know how raw he is.
Aline doesn't give a fuck about competitive gaming.
Not a fuck. I have a best friend who knows Nick Merckx, and I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. But Neo, that nigga raw.
Neo is disgusting, bro. Neo is like...
That's a fact.
If there was...
It's art. It's fucking art.
It is art.
It's video game art. Like, he really should be like...
people like Neo that I just really wish would just completely go full hog into like a competitive scene.
He doesn't want to because he knows it's gonna... It's not what he wants.
If he's... I know it's not what they want. I just wish they would.
He would be unbelievable. Man. He would be. Like he could play any game he wants to play.
I relate
be
Aiden
untouchable
to that same realm. Aiden, who plays Warzone.
Yeah, him and Aiden. And Aiden could do whatever they want, and they choose to stream because it makes them happy.
Yeah, and what I really like about Warzone before the hacking and stuff came in is that like Warzone introduced a new kind of IQ, and not brand fucking new. You know what I mean? But it's not as simple as like just your lanes and search and destroy. This is like okay, how am I gonna move through this? How am I gonna spend my money in this? You know what I mean? And the guys that are so raw that they don't gotta think about shit like that. They're smacking everything that comes their fucking way. But just the amount of, I guess, scenarios you can wind up in, the amount of shit that you have the options and the abilities to do, and the people that are dominating one of those options. I feel like being really good at Warzone speaks to their ability to think.
Well, the way you worded that specifically, though, where like they're so raw they don't have to worry. The thing that puts Neo aside from that and apart from that is he actually is thinking about all that. He's not only just raw enough to not need to do all that, he is also actively thinking about it competitive. When he used to play with Nick, I would get in like Discord or a PlayStation call with him and talk with him. He would just be running around Redwood, which is a map on Black Ops 3, timing how long it took him to get from one side to the other
which
for
is
wagers.
Stuff people don't do normally.
Yeah, he was just
don't do that normally.
Yeah, Neo is in a mindset of he wants to know everything he can. He would play what's the Warzone map that's like smaller? What's it called? Rebirth's one.
Yeah, the fucking like the Warzone
absurd.
Really popped.
He's absurd.
Nah, that's the clips I'm talking about. Yeah,
he would play Rebirth and just like he would just focus on a building and get good at that building. He'd play that building every day, for 3 weeks, and then he moves to the next building. He just specializes in a building for a certain amount of time until he can do the whole thing.
Yep.
And now he can just be anywhere on the map.
And that's a different level of like movement, you know, because even when you talk about like gaming, it's like some people have better movement, some people have better placement, some people have fucking God-given aim. You know what I mean? So you have somebody that isn't just top of the line with movement. They know the environment they're moving through to a T.
Oh, dude, I got into that a lot during Fortnite. And something I actually probably need to bring back to Apex because I thought like that a lot in Fortnite.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of like, okay, if I know this building better than you, I know I can get to this chest, get down here, and pump your ass before you actually can even kill me whatsoever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or if like, okay, you took that building, I know 3 other rotations from this place that you don't.
And what's crazy is if you take the thinking of like a really like top level gamer, you know what I mean, even like an above average gamer, like the mathematical equations that you're technically running in your head without thinking about
Whether
it.
you know
You're
it's
running
math
all
or
types
not.
of stats, probability, like damage percentages, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're running you're betting on your aim, you know what I mean? Because everything is betting on you hitting the fucking shot.
That's how that's how the Crim Sixes set themselves aside. I would watch his
100%,
stream, and he would say when a new Call of Duty just came out, he would go. Someone would ask him like, "What gun do you think is better at this than this?" And he'd say, "I don't know. I got to watch a Drifter video at the end of the week when he finishes talking about all the guns." Like that's a level of like dedication to the craft. Like Crim6 is watching every analytics video on like which guns shoot faster and do better damage bullet per bullet, so he can decide. So him and other pros can decide which gun on this rotation of hardpoint. On the third hill of hardpoint, do I need to use rather than the meta gun?
Dude,
Like
so
it's
true.
it's crazy. Like you'll see them when the broadcasters are watching, you'll see them switch from an AR class to a subclass for 30 seconds. They're doing it for one life just because it means they're gonna have better introduction to this next hill. And then they'll put it back away. They use it 4 times for a total of a minute and a half of a 20-minute game.
And one of our big arguments too, because I just remember our big argument back in the competitive, whenever I would argue against competitive gaming or just like fuck what they're talking about, it was metas. That was my big thing. I hate the idea of a meta because
it's metas are dumb.
What you just said is like what I
too.
think I should be able to factor in my knowledge of my gun, my idea that this gun's gonna shoot better in this scenario, this is gonna work better. When you get into metas, I understand it's the idea that like we're all using the same thing, so it's about who uses this better. But like, if you start talking about the idea of variables go deeper than that. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm better at this kind of shot, and this shot is going to work better with this gun. Once you get into metas and stuff, I feel like it takes some of the creativity
Maybe I'm better
out
with
of
this
it.
one character than everyone else is better with the character who's clearly the dominant character.
Yeah, dude, and that's the thing about metas, especially in Apex right now, because the last year I've been it's been all Apex for me.
Yeah.
People will just latch on to what they think the meta is, and then just run with it. They'll see a pro team just do really, really good with this one combination of characters or these certain guns, and they'll just be like, that's what I gotta use. And it's just, I feel like with metas, people just don't understand sometimes. Like, it's a meta because that's just, it's a trend.
Yeah.
It's more of a trend sometimes, sometimes than it is just kind of like, oh,
This is the only way to do it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. And that's something I do hate about the competitive scene sometimes. It's like, dude, if you are better with this character and this gun setup than you are with the meta setup, and it works for your team or your environment, I do think you should run that.
Sounds like it's a bit more on my side than
Well, with the
In
meta
Apex,
situation,
we were always talking about Call of Duty.
yeah, but
In Call of Duty, the
Call of
meta
Duty-
usually is
Yes.
the way you have to.
no,
run.
I agree,
In the pro scene.
but the idea that fucking blows.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, it
I'm always
sucks.
on the side of it
sucks.
blows. I don't.
So you
like
really
metas.
just used to argue for the dopamine, motherfucker.
All we,
Yes,
that's all
we
you
were
ever
thinking
do.
the same
That's our whole
thing.
friendship.
Listen to who you're talking to right now, okay? Look at who you're talking to. Man can argue with the wall. He'd be like, you're not supposed to be here. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Well, don't pretend that like I'm discounting Evan in this. The three of us, that's all any of us do. But other than with the three of ourselves, we are all the contentious people in our other friend
I don't know
groups.
what you mean. I don't ever argue.
Yeah, exactly. See,
oh, dude,
but
I'm such a if once I get something in my head, dude, and
My-
you have to really convince me that it's like otherwise and prove it to me sometimes,
Exactly.
especially when it comes to competitive gaming.
Yeah.
Or it's just like I'm gonna argue my point until I figure out if you tell me I'm wrong and you
and
prove it
and make
or
you
like
believe it.
yeah, exactly. Like it's definitely one of my flaws in competitive gaming, but it's just what I am sometimes. If
One thing I think I play Overwatch 2 right now. That's pretty much the only game I play competitively anymore. I play ranked fucking almost every day. My brother, Aleem knows him better than anyone here.
Not my dog.
My brother, I
Shout
love
out
him.
Michael.
Michael will explain things to me about Overwatch that I play every day that I don't even factor when I'm playing there are characters that people, you kind of see it in the like ranked play, like as you level up from gold to platinum, you see who people are using the most.
100%.
There's like the 3 top tanks, 3 top damage, 3 top healers for
Who do you
every
main?
Huh?
Who do you main in Overwatch?
Lately, Ramatra, Moira, Junkrat, or Mei.
Oh, you're a Junkrat main?
On damage, Junkrat and Mei.
Okay.
Those two. But of everybody, you have players, I forget what their name is, but there's like a team who play on YouTube or Twitch or something. All 5 of them play the same character every game, regardless of who they're playing against. I think it's a Reinhardt, a Mei, a Mercy. It's Lucio Mercy.
Was that a beard?
What?
It's a Lucio Mercy, Reinhardt, Mei, and another damage. I can't remember what the damage is. It might be a Genji or something. They're all like older characters that these 5 people have been on a team playing with in ranked forever, and they're all like top 500 players, and they've stayed there. They only play those characters. They never differentiate. And I forget what Michael calls it. It's like a certain... But, like, there are people that get so good that the meta doesn't apply to them at a certain character.
Yeah.
They're just... So it doesn't matter if you're
That's
playing...
what I believe in.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if you're playing up against a Genji or a Pharah or who. This Mei is going to snipe you. This Mercy is going to dodge you.
Mei really get on my fucking nerves with the whole sniping shit that she can do.
Who?
Mei.
Yeah. Mei's
dude.
the fucking icicle.
So,
when you can get so good at Mei that, like... You're head dinking Mercies out of the
like
sky.
you're sniping
Doesn't really
people.
matter.
There's a reason that all the pros can play Bastion and Mei only and like never switch off of them.
Yeah.
There are people that only play Mei, even the pro scene of Overwatch, where I'm like, bro, it's absurd what this character is able to do if you just totally understand the character.
So
that's how I've gotten with Ramatra. I love characters that have the most functions, because if you get good with a ton of functions, you have like a response to everything that any character can do to
There's
you.
a lot of outs you can
Exactly.
Right.
I want to just check you guys' knowledge of Alim. Who's my Overwatch man?
Genji.
Okay.
I didn't know
You're a
he
ninja.
was
He's a
just-
ninja. Alim wants to be a ninja in real life so bad.
Alright, who's my Marvel Rivals man?
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Also basically a ninja.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, I
In the
haven't
past-
gotten into Overwatch or Marvel Rivals, dude. I don't know what it is about those types
If you're gonna
of
pick
games.
one of them, man, pick Rivals. 'Cause
Yeah, I was
I
gonna
tell you,
say.
like Overwatch right now really needs to put his dick back on the table, because Marvel, like, I was just having this argument with a really good friend of mine, and she's like big on the like the not big like she's famous, but it's like she competes, like she plays like competitive Overwatch and Marvel Rivals now, and dude,
We're gonna have
Marvel.
to fucking discuss that after the podcast.
Yeah,
I have
no.
no idea who you're talking about.
No.
Just threw me
And
off.
you low key, you guys might just.
I was gonna say I might accidentally know who it is.
No, because she doesn't have like a
happened
name with
before.
impact. We went to school with her, so you might know her for that reason.
What? You can't just
Okay.
drop that.
Well, no, because it's not a big. I'm just saying, it's a fuck, bro. If I played competitive Marvels every day, I could come here and be like, yeah, I be competitive gaming on Rivals. Now, clearly, I'm not what Evan be doing, but that's what I'm telling you. Like, this is a girl who goddamn just games a lot on that.
I gotcha.
But what we're talking about, and I told her when Marvel Rivals hit the scene, I was like, Overwatch needs to tighten the fuck up. Not even as a nigga that's playing Overwatch, but what Overwatch has to compete against with Marvel Rivals. Not only did they steal your sauce, not only offering like third person, I think that's really fucking cool.
Yeah.
But if we just talk about purely IP. Everything that Disney does with Marvel at any step of the way can directly be tied back into that game.
Yeah.
And Overwatch is functioning off of their own IP that they're still building up and stuff.
So
Dude.
I think Overwatch's biggest misstep was not having like any kind of like story mode in the very first game, because it's like
To invest you in that universe and those characters.
Rivals?
because like
It doesn't need
But
it.
it
it doesn't
because it's
need
Marvel.
it because
and
it's
it
Marvel.
didn't never
yeah.
say that it was.
But
either.
like
Going
the
to.
thing is, like all the like long cinematics and story like elements of Overwatch are there. Like there's a kick-ass story in there somewhere, and from what I understand from what you
3.5 hours of cinematics that are the best animated movie ever.
Oh,
You
yeah.
just sit and watch them. They're so good. Bless you.
Bless you.
No, really good.
From what you've told me, Overwatch 2 has a story, but
Yeah,
it's just
and
like
it's decent.
It's
It's okay.
decent, but like that's like fucking almost. It came out in what 2016. That's almost 10 years of
that's a
like
minute ago.
edging your audience
Yeah.
until like you
you
get
know
a
what I
story
mean?
mode.
And
And Marvel comes along.
And
they-
just literally be, and that's what I think a lot of it is. I think they're both really great games. Marvel Rivals couldn't exist without Overwatch. That's
Yeah.
100% guaranteed.
True.
But
So-
like when the next Overwatch character gets announced, if you're not into Overwatch, you don't give a fuck. Marvel Rivals could snatch a nigga that don't give a fuck about Marvel Rivals because Deadpool's on the way.
Yeah.
Oh shit, let me go find out about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that plus some of the best fucking multiplayer servers ever, a solid launch. The player base has been retained. You know what I mean? If anything, they're sharing the space for a lifetime. But I think Overwatch really, like, in the long run, has something to worry about.
Yeah.
So I think they do, only because I feel like the Marvel characters are like you can only do so much. I'm not a Marvel guy though, so I'm kind of biased in this situation.
I was gonna say, as a person who I've played a little bit of Marvels,
It's so good.
or Rivals, it's fun. I don't think I could ever play it solo. I don't enjoy it by myself. I have to play it with friends. Overwatch, since Marvel Rivals has come out, has only been better to me.
Had no choice.
Well, I mean, there's way less people playing role queue because they're going and playing Rivals, and so you have only role queue players in Overwatch playing who actually are doing the role. There are way more healers healing, there are way more DPS DPSing, and there are way more tanks tanking. People are actually doing what they're supposed to do rather than just doing it because they wanted to be competitive. Because some people will play a game and play the rank because they just hate quick play. They hate getting on a team and people keep leaving. There's some people that only play rank. I'm one of them that only play rank because it's the most consistent form of the game. You can actually play through a whole game with the same 5-man, and they're gonna stay in the game and get it to the end, win or lose.
With a higher likelihood of them doing what they're supposed to do.
Exactly. And for a long time, you always had the one healer or the one DPS or the shitty tank, and no one would someone wouldn't carry their weight, and it would be the detriment to the whole team. Since Marvel Rivals came out, I used to only play open queue. Now I play role queue, and I'm an all queue. I'll queue as fill me in, whatever spot's available. I'll play a tank, a healer, a damage, whatever I need to. I've gotten to where I can play half of pretty much either of the three classes really well, and everyone's doing their job since Rivals came out. It's like it took all the players we hated in Overwatch, and all we're left with in Overwatch are the happy players.
For sure.
I think people are going to have this, like, what's better about which game at any moment forever and try and argue which is better. I think they're doing exactly what they need to do. Marvel Rivals is filling in the gaps of people who don't want to do role queue, because a lot of people hate role queue, and the people that do love it get to play Overwatch. I think that's where I think Evan's more right. I think both are just going to kind of ride that line.
Yeah.
People want first person, people want third person. I want first person. People who want Marvel Rivals are going to play Marvel Rivals. People who want Overwatch are going to play Overwatch.
I think the difference, though, is I think Overwatch, and I haven't really played either game, but just from an outside perspective looking in, Overwatch has a competitive scene and it has a competitive base, and I think that's what's going to drive that game further now. Like, you're going to have people that play Overwatch because they want to be more competitive, they want to get deeper into the whole, like, scene with it, and you'll still have a casual scene, but I think Marvel and Rivals won't ever really go competitive. It'll kind of just be casual, and you might have, like, a tournament pop up here and there.
Yeah.
You know?
They'll have, like, creator tournaments and shit. Marvel Rivals, it has a ranked play, but the problem with it, and everyone on Twitter, and I know that these, like, algorithms, like, put you in a place where, like, you're seeing what you want to see.
Yeah, the pseudo echo chamber.
Yeah, and, like, with gaming, it's weird, because you follow certain people, you see their opinions, you don't see the others. I try to follow as many opinions on whatever topic as I can. So I'm seeing a lot of people who love Marvel Rivals because there's no role queue.
I think it's a really sexy aspect of the game, and I think when you factor in the character combos and stuff like that, it's a game that has the potential to blur the lines on, like, role queuing period, because especially if they start introducing characters that kind of hold, like, dual titles.
Exactly.
Because then you get to a point where, like, okay, you don't need to have this traditional setup because this character actually serves a healing function and a tank function. This character can actually, you know, knock shit silly and provide defense. You know what I mean?
And I think that's where something like Overwatch kind of, wouldn't say they fucked up, because they were just following a field when they started, like the team Team Fortress, is that the game?
Yeah,
Team Fortress. Yeah, games like that kind of, like, started a path. They were just filling in the void of, like, here's a game like that.
Yeah.
Marvel, I don't even think is comparable to Overwatch in that they're similar games. I think it's the next step in that type of gaming.
I
think you're right. I think that there's gonna be tanks that have healers.
Casual gamer dropping real fucking knowledge on it.
It's just
real
like how
knowledge.
Valorant dropped another version of CS:GO.
It's just CS:GO Overwatch.
Yeah.
Like, I think Overwatch is. We're gonna look back in video game history in, like, 30 years.
100%.
Overwatch was the game that, like, pushed all the other games to evolve to be. Everything took from Overwatch, but stayed in their lanes. Valorant is CS:GO Overwatch. Marvel Rivals is going to be like what is it? Like almost Smash Brothers Overwatch, where it's team based, version of Smash Bros. Because half the characters can punch, half of them have guns. You can do things that you would do in something like a platformer, but you're following a lane structure of Overwatch with a team format.
Beautifully worded, because that's exactly why I take to the game so much. You know what I mean? I really love, like, I fuck with Overwatch, I do. But, like, I only ever gave a fuck about playing Genji because I was like, for somebody that came up on Bethesda games, I was like, oh shit, suddenly, like, Skyrim and Dishonored matter. Like, I have this very niche pocket of this FPS game where my skills from this other game genre that I fucking adore are coming in handy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm moving Genji how I move the dude in Dishonored. You know,
Dishonored's such a good game.
Man, what the fuck you talking about? Assassin's Creed in first person, dog? Right. That shit is
Have you seen Hazard gameplay yet?
No.
In Overwatch, the new tank? You're a Hazard.
You think so?
If you play it again, like, it's the only tank other than maybe Winston that I think would, like, apply to your movement in gaming, like Genji.
Yeah.
The way that Genji can, like, get in and out of a situation fast, but also has, like, a stupid damage output.
Yeah,
Hazard is that tank.
Fuck
They finally have a tank like that. Because Winston can give a ton of damage, but you have to be right in the guy's face for a while. Hazard just has a fucking shotgun that you could fucking dink a dude for half his health right next to him and then jump away. Like,
kind of like Roadhog?
Kind of like Roadhog, but Roadhog doesn't have mobility. Hazard can leap, and he can also climb structures.
Oh, yeah?
He's literally just a Genji tank. He's amazing.
Which is super fucking necessary. You know what I mean? And even the hybrid idea that this tank is moving in a way that's more akin to DPS.
Exactly.
So it can do DPS shit, but it's a tank. It'll block for you.
Which D.Va is the closest thing to that. D.Va and Winston.
Was always a great example.
Yeah, D.Va is that, but D.Va just doesn't have the damage output that, like, makes it similar to a Genji. Genji can fucking two-shot anybody if he's right in your face. Genji's absurd. Genji's too strong. It's annoying.
But yeah, my love for Genji directly translated to Spider-Man. Because for one, movement above everything. Especially because my aim comes second to my movement. And movement, I don't know, that's just like, that's the most fun part of competitive gaming for me. You know what I mean? Because, like, obviously everything boils down to aim and movement, you know what I mean? And obviously if you have really good aim and I have really good aim, like, that's cool. But, like, movement is that thing that really starts to separate, like, how shit's gonna get done. And because it's something I can do well enough without having fantastic aim, it still allows me to, like, be effective, you know what I mean? I don't have phenomenal aim, but I'm gonna, you know, if there's 5v5, not only am I thinking about the combat, not only thinking about what I'm going to do, I'm thinking about how do each of these characters move, you know, where are they going, you know, which is just an exaggerated, you know, you're thinking about lanes and stuff like that.
But I mean, that's a good mindset to have, like, even if you're going into a competitive type of aspect, because you'll take that into a deeper level once you kind of get into a competitive, like, mindset.
100%.
You'll kind of take that aspect and you'll think about, okay, well, this character does that character does that, my character does this.
Yes.
I should go about it this way.
Exactly, you know what I mean? And, like, this guy has these several options, but what's the optimal option? But then what's that option weighed against his backup? Because if this character can do this, he doesn't have to do this as much. Yeah. So now he might fuck around and swing. You know what I mean?
That's a very IGL mindset.
Yeah, and that's the shit. That's what I like about gaming is, like, for me, it's not just that's why, like, it'd be so hard to explain to people when I'm playing a fighting game. Like, I don't care that you used a bunch of specials to beat me. You took the mental gymnastic out of this. Like, now just watch out for the big super move. You know, you're just gonna spam me, but, like, I like are you gonna duck here? You're gonna jump here. You know what I mean? What's the mix up like? You know, you're this close to me.
You're trying to argue with him and play competitive gaming.
I've told him he'd be amazing.
He has a good mind for it.
I appreciate it, guy.
Ali has a great mind for whatever he wants to do. He just doesn't do stuff.
I'm gonna go smoke a black. I'll be back.
If Ali dedicated all of his time to one thing, he'd be fucking a professional at it immediately.
Damn.
See, that's the people that I push to even play competitive gaming, man. Like, my homeboy, like, Box, man, he didn't play competitive anything, and he is one of, like, the most talented kids I've seen touch a controller, like, that I've met. And I was like, dude, play fucking competitive gaming. You're a fucking natural, you know? And he's been doing great. He's been playing heavy Warzone, streaming every day. Like, he's been killing it, so I've been loving seeing that.
Alim's the kind of person that if I, like, started a business or I was doing something where I could totally take care of myself and my life to the point where I didn't have to worry about bills, didn't have to worry about blah, 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 got to that level of comfort where it was like, okay, I can afford to, like, help someone or help do something. Alim's the first person where I say, come live in my fucking spare bedroom. I'm buying you a PlayStation 5, and we're going to grind Overwatch every night. We're going to grind whatever the thing is we want to grind every night, and build up that thing and continue to build up, like, not just our friendship, but whatever it is we're doing day to day that is helping support the lifestyle.
I mean,
be that start a business, be that, you know.
That's kind of what happened with this. He come into this. I mean, like, I know he did episode 3 with you, but like, I would say this is probably like this fifth or sixth consistent thing that he's done. I mean, I don't know how often y'all are recording episode 3, but
when we were doing it, it was pretty often, but it falls off because there's 4 people, pretty hard.
Yeah.
With you, me, and Alim, as long as he stays in town and doesn't continue to like fucking fuck off to wherever he's gonna go for a while.
I mean, I don't
stay consistent.
I don't care because like the thing that we've been doing with this season is we have like a lot of rotating people coming on. You know what I mean? Which is fun because you get to get different perspectives and stuff, and it's kind of what like I feel like it's a natural evolution of this. It's just like because like that's why I wanted to have you on. Like you know what I mean? Like. And get that super focus on you, which is kind of like I've been hanging back this whole time just listening, partially because I'm absorbing, but also partially I'm just enjoying like the conversation. You know what I mean?
Dude, no, the conversation's so fun, man. Like I don't get to talk competitive and gaming and stuff like that often. You know?
Oh, dude, anytime you want to come on,
dude.
just let me know.
Fun,
Because I mean, we'll do a I've got us scheduled out till February right now, but I mean, like, fucking, usually we record on Mondays. So, like, anytime you're just, like, feeling it on a Saturday, I'm off now, he's off, Liam's usually off, like, you just want to come on and talk shit, like,
dude,
you know.
I'm down, man, I'm down.
We'd have a good time.
I'm waiting for the competitive Apex season to really pop back off, because they haven't even announced when Year 5 is going to start yet.
I wish I enjoyed that game.
Oh, dude, it's just the best competitive game right now, right, to be honest.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. Everyone says, like, Warzone is the most relaxed, Fortnite is the most complicated, and Apex is the best competitively.
Is the best competitively. And it's that right there for BRs is the truth. You know, and it's...
But
Apex,
the casual scene is garbage for that game. There's just... It's no fun.
It is.
It's no fun to play that game unless you're a pro, I feel like.
And that's why Apex is in such a bad spot right now. It's because they don't know if they're going to go full out competitive. They don't know if they're going to apply casuals like Fortnite. They're in between everything. It's been really messing up the flow of the competitive and just the game because they're tied between, do we want to just fully go to competitive or do we just want to be casual? You know, the competitive scene will be there no matter what. Whether you say, okay, we're casual, like Fortnite competitive's there, it's always going to be there. Or if you're going to go like CSGO and be like, we're just competitive, you know? It's going to survive. You just have to pick a lane, you know? And that's why it's hard. And I just kind of waiting to see what they do over the next couple months. And they usually announce Year 5 when after Champs, and Champs is, I think, this coming weekend. In Japan, and it's going to be really fun to watch. For Apex. And I'm really, really excited to watch that. Envy is coming back.
To Apex?
In general. Castro bought a Apex team and, like, announced it, like, yesterday.
That's pretty cool. I didn't even know... See, that's how far out of the loop I've been competitive gaming-wise. I didn't even know Envy was gone.
And Envy... Well, Optic and Envy combined.
Okay.
And then the whole...
I remember that. That was back in, like, fucking World War II or something. Okay, I do remember that. It was a while back.
It was like...
World War II the game, not
not during... Not the 40s.
Yeah. So, I was so happy when I heard that Hastro reacquired Envious, Dallas Empire, Dallas Fuel.
Yeah.
Like, all those orgs. And now, he instantly signed an Apex team. Like, that was so cool. And plus, it was one of my favorite teams to watch. I had Dropped. These guys named Dropped, Knocked, and Yanya. They were playing under like an amateur scene, and or not amateur scene, they were unsigned, and dude, they were crushing it. They're like one of the like top 5 teams in the game right now. And there's a lot of teams in that game, so I was really excited that Envy of all orgs popped back up in reality and just bought like one of my favorite teams. So I'm really excited to watch Champs for them now because they're a good contender to win it all, and I'm really just trying to see when is the competitive scene starting. My team's ready to go. We just want to jump back in full swing.
Oh, one second.
Uh-oh, it's the dog.
Yeah, she's barking. I'm trying to get inside.
Are you good? Oh, okay.
Okay. I'm not worried.
No, I was going to say I can get her.
No, I ain't worried about that.
Just run out there and tackle her.
You're way too much person for that to be okay.
She's a tough dog. You understand. Scoots giving people a hard time.
She probably thinks
she's basically our bouncer. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's true.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited to see when the
Bad girl.
season starts back up to that game. Very, very excited.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. I was just saying I'm excited to see when the Apex scene's going to pop back off. Like when they announce the dates so we can actually start scrimming again. I can actually because for the past month and a half or so, I had to take a huge step back from streaming and competing in just games because of all of the 2024 season was so long. It took so much effort. Have streaming, I was I would work 10-hour shifts, and then after my 10-hour shift, I would go straight home and have 10 minutes where I have to hop on for scrims. Yeah. And that happened daily up until the competitive season stopped.
Well, I'm gonna predict something for you real quick because this happens every time this motherfucker does this. Nick just hopped on Marvel Rivals and he's into it. Every time this motherfucker hops into a new game inside of a year, that's the comp game. That's the game.
Yeah, I just can't.
You gotta start grinding that game, bro. I'm telling you.
I don't know.
Marvel Rivals will be the next big comp video game that isn't League of Legends CSGO. It's gonna be the next big one.
Maybe, dude. This is the first one.
Everyone is playing it.
Because it's so fucking good.
I have to put my judgment with Marvel aside because I'm just not a Marvel guy. Yeah. And I just have to try it.
Are you a DC guy?
That's not a superhero movie guy.
Are you an anime guy?
I mean, I fuck with anime, but it's just it's not. I don't know. It's just superhero stuff. I've never really got into it. I like the Iron Man series, like the Spider-Man series. That's kind of all I've really got.
The way that the three of us dedicate our mental bandwidth to 3 or 4 things, he does that with just competitive games.
No, that's kind of what I was getting.
Apex is the thing his brain is running on. I need to be better at Apex. Doing this thing with Apex. Yeah. That and being a camera.
Drink water, play.
Aside from competitive, it's film. But when it comes to everything I'm consuming during content, it's Apex. And then when I'm not playing or streaming Apex or watching Apex, I usually go to Fortnite. And if no one's playing Fortnite, if there's a Halo series, I watch Halo. And I can
watch
bro.
Any video game.
Yeah.
Professionally.
Yes.
So my problem is I cannot watch people play.
I got into League of Legends esports this year.
It depends on the game for me.
FPS
is
fun to watch, man. It's
I'm not. It's not going on. Yeah. They keep switching their gun to run faster.
Yeah, and I'm oh my god, Jesus Christ!
I'm trying to God.
That's one of the things that I feel like I've gotten older with. Because when I was a little kid. My mom and grandma would be like, turn that shit off. It's making me dizzy because we'd be playing on the living room TV.
Yeah.
And then I didn't get it. I was like, whatever, what are y'all talking about? And now,
he's an old man.
We'll
play The Last of Us or God of War. He can't handle it.
We streamed, what was it, Firewatch?
Firewatch.
Dude, I could only do about an hour and a half, 2 hours. And then I was like, I gotta go. I need to go. Yeah, I need some air. I need some water.
What the fuck is Firewatch?
It's a niche little
walking simulator dope, story game.
Yeah. I used to watch people play that in the story.
It's a great game.
It's you solve a mystery and then you figure shit out and it's kind of crazy.
The first 10-15 minutes is a text explanation of who you are, kind of a choose your own adventure story of how you and this woman met, got married, and eventually she gets early onset dementia at 40. Yeah. And her parents, she's Australian, and her parents come and get her and take her home, and you get a job as a Firewatch, a guy who goes out and gets in the towers in the middle of the fucking parks, and you're miles from civilization.
I want to play that game.
It's great. I've played it 6 times.
Yeah. It is and you can have different endings.
You can have different endings. It's a choose your own adventure, and it's open world. So as you progress the story, you get access to this map, and on day 1 you can find a little turtle. A little turtle walking around in a certain area of the game, and if you pick him up, you can keep him, and then you have him for the rest of the game. And the woman who you're talking to, Delilah, on your walkie-talkie, will mention him based on if you've talked about him or not. But if you never see him and you never pick him up, she'll never mention him. So you can go through the whole game with this little thing you guys talk about or not for the whole. It's crazy how many different voice combinations.
It's a very you get invested.
You get very invested in the story. It is very emotional storyteller. There's a show called Mad Men, and one of the main characters, I think his name's Harry. The guy who plays him in Mad Men is the voice actor for the main character in Firewatch.
I think I would listen to it more than I would watch it, just because a lot of the story you can get just by listening.
The best part of the game is if you look at a bush and it has a walkie-talkie next to it, it means you have something to ask Delilah about, because all you want to do is talk to Delilah. They really make you excited about talking to this other character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I made the owl joke.
Yeah, that joke the whole time we streamed it that was the joke.
Yeah, 100%.
Hey,
you can't.
Delilah, what's this bush got all over it? We would just literally make up lyrics every time the walkie-talkie.
Literally, and is that still up on the YouTube?
If you look for it, I'm sure.
It's probably up on the YouTube, but dude, we finished it. That was the only game that we played all the way through. We tried to stream fucking the original Star Wars Battlefront off of my Xbox.
It was terrible though.
Yeah,
the new version that they like ported to the new consoles was just.
The frames were
when me and
so
him played, it was
up.
great. Like, forget about the stream. Playing it on the console that it was supposed to be.
Yeah, it was great.
It was so fun. It was like playing it again. Playing it when they ported it to like PS5. It was just fucking bad.
I got it for free off of the Xbox.
I was actually my mom used to play this game called, I think it's called Kinetica. It's a very strange game. So basically, what the game is, it's like these people wear motorcycle suits. Like they low key look like gimps. Like they're in full body gimp motorcycle suits. Yeah, that's the best way to describe this game. If you Google Kinetica, you'll know exactly. Yeah, this is to a T. I'm describing. It looks like gimp suit motorcycle guys. Right? They're in these like fucking full blown, and like basically the way that you move is your character, like, you know, you're on all fours, and your character makes their body.
You sure this isn't a gimp game?
Low key is kind of, you know what I mean, it's a little horny, but it's not.
Kind of like how Wonder Woman was like all about bondage. Like that was the whole fucking. That's what Wonder Woman.
That's what she was based off of.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I like that. I like that a lot more. You know, I love a tall bitch. But let me tell you guys. So this Kinetica game, right? My mom used to play it on the PS2 back in the day. The game it's something that's been it's in the PlayStation Marketplace. You can get the game on PS5. You know what I mean? This isn't even a port, but just like trying to play that game on PS5 is so difficult because these games were designed with so many things in mind. Like they factored in the flicker on your television. That's why some of these games don't look good when you play them now, because they needed a shitty TV to look good. They were designed specifically for the way a shitty TV like, you know, does pictures, whatever the fuck, some complicated shit that's much better worded, right? And the same even down to the inputs, like the kind of responsiveness you get out of a PS5 controller versus a PS2 controller. So this game is it's basically like it's a niche racing game. You have damn near no control. The game feels like fucking like oil. The game feels like fucking butter. My mom used to be a beast out of this game. She can't play the game anymore because the game was designed for the stiffness and the limitations of its time. And now when you try to play this game with like all these peripherals and stuff, it's almost over-gassing the game. Like, the game was never designed for you to have this much reaction time.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? The game was designed understanding that, like, you could be the fastest motherfucker on the planet. This is a PS2 motherfucker. You're only going to get but so much out of it, but the PS, you know what I mean? And I'm sure there's, like, dead zone mathematics and all types of, you know, extra shit that explains it. But in short, these games weren't just like really good for their time. They were designed to work within their peripherals, within their hardware limitations.
Dude.
And that does not always translate.
It's like when you put nostalgia lenses on something you loved as a kid, and then you like that movie. Did you ever watch the movie In Time with Justin Timberlake?
Yeah. Is it not a good movie?
It's terrible.
No, it's not.
I loved that
Dude,
movie.
I thought that movie was
the shit, bro. I thought that was the best movie ever.
Like,
the time when you're on.
Touch the wrist, bro. Your money is your time
I told my
left.
boys, my movie boys, the ones I get in Discord every night, we watch movies, we watch shows, we fucking do, we have a text chat in Discord called The Compiler, where we'll say, like, I'm watching this movie with Nathan, Shake, and Bumper. And then at the end of the movie, we will all rate it 1 through 10 and then write a review. We have a fucking text chat that goes like 6 years doing that.
That's dope.
We watched In Time for a month. I told these guys, bro, wait till we watch In Time, man. This movie's the shit. You guys have no idea. Justin Timberlake gives such a good performance, blah, 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 blah. Bro, we watched the movie. 40 minutes in, I'm like, guys, I'm so sorry. This movie's...
It's shit.
Terrible. The idea is incredible.
Phenomenal.
There are great scenes, there's good acting in the movie, but like it was just one of those things where like I think there were too many chefs in the kitchen in the process of that movie being made. Cillian Murphy's in it. He's great.
Cillian Murphy's in that?
Yeah, he plays a cop. He's really good. Justin Timberlake's not bad, but he's not nearly as good as I thought in my brain he had been. Like the best performance he ever gives is in The Social Network. He's unbelievable. He plays Sean Parker. He's incredible in that movie. But In Time is fun. It's a fun movie. It's cool, but man, it's corny.
Is it like Looper?
Looper's actually good.
Looper? Is that the one with
Bruce
Joseph?
Willis and Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
Okay, dude. One of my favorite things about watching Looper is the first fucking 30 minutes. You're like, why the fuck does he look like that?
Yeah.
Why the fuck does his face look like that?
And then you see why. Yeah. Then you're like, oh, he's Bruce Willis.
Which one, Looper or Push?
What's Push?
What's Push?
Push is...
I forgot you're the film guy.
Wait.
Looper's the one...
I'm not thinking about Looper. I'm thinking about, what's the one...
What, Hayden Christensen?
I think so.
Jumper.
I'm thinking of Jumper.
That one's also
I don't know
good.
why I was like Looper. Yeah,
What's really funny is you don't understand how niche of a pocket it is, because when I'm not the film guy. Like I'm not the guy.
He knows nothing about me.
I'm not the guy. Relax.
Let me rephrase. He knows very little about the scope of what you and I would consider being a film person.
Yo.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Get that one. I'm not gonna drink it.
Okay, bet. Dude, no, I don't know why I tied Looper in with freaking Jumper.
No, you say that. A lot of times that happens.
Really?
A lot of times people think Jumper is Looper and Looper is Jumper when I talk about it.
That's actually that's funny.
Because they both were like came and went, and like no one either you saw it and loved it, or you didn't see it and never heard of it.
Yeah,
it's like those, and that's both of those movies.
Yeah, I really feel like Jumper didn't get enough credit. I always thought
dude, Jumper and Push are up there for my favorite movies.
Yeah, it's just cool as fuck.
So freaking
and I really
cool
feel like
concept.
it wasn't received well because that movie should have easily been Hayden's way to like do stuff outside of Star Wars.
Samuel L. Jackson. A lot of people who are in the production of that movie talk about that movie as like the greatest franchise that never happened.
Yeah,
like it would have been an unbelievable franchise.
It was so. It doesn't make.
It just didn't
the
get
shit
picked up
that
in the
doesn't
moment.
stick is crazy. The shit that won't. That's how we get cult classics and stuff like that.
Facts, man.
Firefly.
So many movies.
Wait till you watch
Freaks and Geeks.
Yes.
There's no fucking reason Freaks and Geeks shouldn't have been a season 2. Like that is the pinnacle of fucking sitcom. Whatever.
I'm afraid to watch it. I don't want to watch it.
No, because it's that good.
Exactly.
And
I
the
know.
thing is, and it's so old that there's no like, oh, maybe they could like, no, that shit's done. They're never gonna. No, they're not doing shit else.
Yeah,
with
Firefly is the
it's
same thing.
so fucking good, Freaks and Geeks stuff. And then you wanna know the reason I watched it? Because of Childish Gambino.
Yeah.
Childish Gambino has a song called Freaks and Geeks,
Yeah.
and the only reason it's called Freaks and Geeks is because the last bar of that song is "My clique should be canceled."
Yeah.
Freaks and Geeks. And then I watched the show on Netflix, and I watched it in the same time I watched.
That's a bar, bro.
No, it's a fuck. No. He's what brand new wit for these niggas like slavery, or one of my favorite Gambino lines. This might all be the same. No, Freaks and Geeks is a separate song. But one of the best Gambino lines is Gambino was a call girl. Fuck you. Pay me.
Yes,
What?
bro. What? That's one of the greatest.
What?
Bro.
Stop playing with
Don't get me.
Donald.
I'm gonna get goosebumps. Bro.
No,
I
bro.
love
because the
I
thing
love
was, Childish
talking about
Gambino
it.
wasn't just a rapper for geeky kids. The niggas actually bar for
Oh,
bar.
absurd.
You could put him against.
Have you ever watched Community?
Yes, because of him.
Yes.
And let me tell you, there's never been a show more made for Aleem than that fucking
Well,
show.
that's what I'm saying. Like you see
Aleem's the guy
elements
talking.
of like his
creativity,
his creativity
his fucking
in that
juice,
show,
his
yeah.
aura. You see how that nigga raps, how he raps in that show.
Oh, yeah.
and that's such a crazy
I've
translation.
never
He's a
seen-
multimedia phenomenon.
In 5 years, how many times have I tried to put you on a show?
No, yeah, a lot.
Listen.
But no, I'm saying in 5 years. I've known you for like a decade. Forever,
Once we were locked in, you knew like giving me a show is not a good idea.
Exactly.
Like,
So
I'm
I
probably
stopped.
not gonna. Watch
I started
it.
watching a lot of different shit in my every time I watch anything, I'm keeping in mind who's gonna like this, so I can tell who will actually watch it. A lot of people will just watch whatever I tell them. Sometimes, depending on who it is that's watching, if they don't care.
Oh, yeah.
But like Aleem, I was like, oh, this guy's only gonna watch like stuff that really is gonna grab him. So in 5 years, how many things have I put you on?
It's two.
Two.
Did
Did you watch them both?
Yes. And
were they incredible?
Yeah, and two of my favorite fucking things.
Community and Ted Lasso.
I'm
I'm about to put him on a third thing. I'm going to go ahead and put everyone on it because it's top 5 greatest things I've ever seen. I'm binging it right now. I have 3 episodes left. 2 seasons are out right now. It's called Shrinking.
Yes.
Shrinking. Harrison Ford, Jason Segel.
And what's crazy is I used to see the fucking the advertisement for it when I used to watch Ted Lasso.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
on the
was
same
like,
network. And Brett Goldstein, who plays Roy in Ted Lasso, he's the writer for the show, and he's in the show, but not
Hell yeah.
not.
He's
a lot.
also Hercules.
He's also
Hercules.
We'll see.
Oh, okay.
he's kind of he's technically Hercules for a second, but God, who knows if that's gonna stick?
Yeah, that's true. All these variants,
Bro,
and shit.
there's like-
AKA we can cast anybody, anytime, ever. Variant.
Exactly.
I've never seen back to the Community thing. An artist's like aura be projected so much
As a
into
character.
a show,
Yes.
like than that. But like watching Community, I was like, I feel like I understand Childish Gambino.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
100%.
like,
100%.
And then watching him in Solo, I was like, oh well, you know, like I get it, but it's kind of weird because his persona as Childish Gambino and like Donald Glover kind of overshadow Lando as a character, so it's like it's almost like there's 2 different Landos in the Star Wars universe.
He is a character.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
no, for sure. He's very...
Because like
Gambino is one of the people that doesn't get enough credit for popularizing being offbeat. The
Yeah.
dude's offbeat as shit.
Yeah.
Like, he's clearly autistic as hell. He's clearly
You watched
ADHD as
Atlanta?
hell. No, but the only reason I haven't watched Atlanta is because I know that that's going to be probably one of the greatest things I ever watched. So like I'm saving it.
Because for me, I won't continue it for the same reason. I'm like, I can't.
I've watched season 1. I've watched season 1.
Me too.
And it was so fucking
one
good.
Of the greatest seasons of TV.
I needed
comedy.
the show to be finished so that whenever it was time for me to watch it, I could
just get through it.
And even then, I'm still like, man, like I'm saving. Like I know there's gonna be.
That's Freaks and Geeks for me too. Like I'm afraid
that was
to watch it.
You gave me Ted Lasso, and my other thing with shows is like I get so invested in something that I'm watching.
You don't want it to be over.
I don't want it to be over, but it also like affects like my life. Like it's almost like I'm saved. Like Ted Lasso got me through a really rough time in life. Like it was something to like anchor myself to.
Shrinking is that for me right now.
Yeah, when I know a show is that good,
the shit.
I'm not just finna watch this shit. Like I know this shit is gonna be transformative because I know the motherfuckers that made it are creative. They give a fuck. Like when you get to a high level of art and stuff, it just boils down to like the best art comes from motherfuckers that has something to say and they knew how to say it.
Well, with something like Shrinking and other comedies, the way I look at a comedy, if you're advertising as a comedy, you need to do one thing better than anything else. You need to be funny. And that boils down to, I'm a giant stand-up nerd. I love stand-up comedy. I listen to it. All the podcasts I listen to is comedians. Like, I love when they get, like, inside baseball and start really shopping comedy, like, talking about it. And the number one thing for any comedian is laughs per minute. The best comedians in the world, if you listen to them talk to the best comedians in the world, every time they get together, at some point they're going to discuss economy of words. And that's important in two fields. It's important in music, and it's important in comedy. Economy of words.
Politics too, low key.
And politics, sure. But like, God, not lately.
There's
my hot take. But with music and comedy, and to an extent cinema, but there's so much cinema that is like, there's almost no language that you can, there's like whole movies with no dialogue that you can, it's the art of what's on the screen. That's different. Yeah. With comedy and with music, what has to be great is the words. You have to be able to fit a message into the smallest amount of words and it still have a giant impact. In something like Ted Lasso or Community or Shrinking or to an extent like How I Met Your Mother probably got away with it the longest. 9 seasons of a show that is going to pump out consistent funny every minute of a 30-minute chunk.
One of my favorite shows.
It's unreal. It's the greatest.
It's so good.
And Shrinking is one of those ones where I watch it and it's like every 20 seconds you're going to laugh for 35 minutes. It's nuts. Ted Lasso. You're going to laugh. You don't stop laughing. You can be by yourself. Those shows, there's only a few shows that I can watch on my own, and I'll laugh every time. I've watched it 5 times. Guess what's going to happen? I'm about to laugh for 30 minutes because it's fucking hilarious. Oh, yeah. There are comedies that are funny, but they get you like 4 or 5 times in an episode. Like, there's a show called The Bear. It's hilarious, but it's a drama. They say it's a comedy. It's getting nominated as a comedy at all these things, and that's kind of silly. It should be a drama. It would win all the same awards.
Kind of like Shameless. Like I think Shameless is marketed as a comedy.
It is. It's marketed. Shameless is always marketed as a comedy.
Shameless is way more like I would say. If it's not 50-50, it's got to be at least
more dramatic than it is.
Shows like that though are also an expression of like the problem with like categories and lines.
Exactly.
And stuff. Because like the reality of it is like
That's why those award shows are. In the end of the day, they're all bogus.
Yeah, pretentious.
I think the nomination. A lot of people say the win is important. I think if you get nominated at all, that's people recognizing.
Yeah,
that's real recognized real more than the win. The win is. Stephen King was tweeting about this, and people are writing articles, and it's been a thing every year. It comes up. Like the Academy, the people who are in the Academy, it's anyone who's ever been nominated. If you get nominated, you're in the Academy. So now you get to every year you get to cast a vote as part of the Academy. Yeah,
I didn't know.
And so people will vote for things their friends are in and not watch them.
100%.
And that happens in every category. 100%. So like The Brutalist is the big thing this year. It's like a 3.5-hour movie starring Adrian Brody. He hasn't won an Oscar since the early 2000s when he was in The Pianist, which is one of the greatest movies.
He was doing what?
The Pianist. Oh. Shut up. It's one of the greatest movies ever made. And when he won the Oscar, he was the youngest man to ever win the lead actor Oscar, and that's stood up to this day. Yeah. And he plays a Holocaust survivor who's like he was a professional pianist, and it's an unbelievable great movie. If you ever want a fucking journey to go down, it's one of the best movies ever made. Watch that movie. Great movie. This new movie he's in called The Brutalist is like 3.5 hours long. It's almost 4 hours long. There's an intermission in theaters. There's like a 20-minute intermission.
Is there really?
So you can go use the bathroom.
That's insane.
It's nuts.
I miss when movies used to do that.
And so
I
people are talking.
Movies ever did that.
That used to be all they did. There used to be like if you set an hour, there's an intermission.
Old school movies do that a lot. Like did that a lot.
Like 90s and earlier. Almost every movie had one.
No, I ain't gonna hold you, but I also feel like maybe that lasted longer down here Because I'm from New Jersey. Because
probably.
They probably treat it.
Well, it was before we were alive. I just know.
Yeah.
Okay. So
back in the day, like they treated it like going to see a play.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like
a movie and a play were synonymous.
And
they treated the experience. You dressed up to go see a movie.
Yeah. There was the understanding of like, okay, like we know this movie is going to be 3-4 hours long. We're going to have that bathroom break so that way you don't miss the story because we care. Like about
movies have that same problem as music, where like there's a saturation of them. So like the fact that this is actually one of the highest forms of art is kind of ignored.
Before it gets too far, I just want to say what I was saying real fast.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Adrian Brody's being put up
Fuck
again.
what you're talking about.
Yeah, sorry.
He's being nominated as Best Lead Actor, and people are worried he's not going to win, not because he doesn't deserve it, but because people aren't going to watch the movie. They're just going to vote for him because people are saying they should.
Yeah.
That's the problem in stuff like the Academy. That's the big thing with the Emmys and all that. To me, you get nominated, that's winning. That's the same thing as winning.
Well, you're seeing the backswing of it now, like where people are like, well, I don't want to watch a 3-hour Marvel movie.
It's TikTok culture. Like, everyone's ready for that 6-second fucking dopamine hit.
I was
going to
say,
to the next
like,
fun thing.
Movies haven't exactly been short. I mean, there's a reason they call it a feature film. You know what I mean? Like, you go back and you look at shit like, Gone with the Wind was fucking, I think, almost 4 hours long. That movie had an intermission. Fucking, what was the one you were talking about? Brutalist Now? Like, I would love to see Return. If fucking the Infinity War had an intermission,
which it should have, because
it should have. It's long. I had to piss that whole movie. I didn't leave. I've almost brought a bottle, like just to piss in, because like I didn't want to miss shit.
Like, they be fucking in here. I'll take a piss.
Yeah, for real.
I'll take a piss.
This floor's already sticky, Hey,
yo, why's your pee sticky? It's acidic and salt. Like
I eat a lot of sugar.
Oh man,
Jesus Christ!
It's like cough syrup now.
Oh no, viscous urine. Viscous urine.
We had a mystery pisser at Ichiban.
That was episode 5 of season 3.
No, man, biscuit pisser.
That's fucking disgusting.
That's how you close that motherfucker.
I want to body slam that cat so bad right now. Look at it. It's just so body slammable.
I got a story about a mystery pisser at Ichiban. So like, I wasn't a part of this. I came into the back end of this.
I bet you did.
I did. So I didn't go to Ichiban the first day, but as we were talking about last podcast, they ran like Thursday through Sunday, and Vadez Quentin.
Ichiban Con is an anime convention.
No, we talked about all this. You missed like the whole episode.
I know.
Well, yeah,
but people listening now probably. If me and Evan especially,
and you never
this
know.
To our Twitter people.
Never know. Yeah, exactly. When it's somebody's first episode.
Fuck them.
It's
Play
an anime
attention to the
convention.
continuity. No, I'm just kidding. All right. So, anyways, Chris Vadez Quentin all went up Thursday, and I didn't come till Friday. And I get there, and the toilet's just full of piss, apparently. I didn't see it. But Vadez comes out of the bathroom, and he's like, who the fuck pissed in the toilet and didn't flush it? Because, like, apparently it smelled, too. And like,
Christ.
nobody would claim it. And they were all like, it was you, great. And I was like, I just got here. I didn't even fucking use the bathroom in that room until, like, the very end of the
I need
night.
you to calm down, dude. It's like
Listen.
you seem you got so.
I
mad
was
just
heated about it because Vadez was like, "This bro, you crazy?" And I was like, "How the fuck you know you were in there? How do I know you didn't do it?" And just come out and be like, "Haha, these guys are gonna smell my piss." Like,
Man, if you're conscious enough that your piss smells bad enough that it's a prank, you really like, you really gotta reevaluate some shit.
Oh, you drink some more water.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just
you
a
know
little
who I
bit.
really think it was? I think it was Quentin. We didn't get to see it, but
Bro,
it's
don't do this. Don't
Listen,
make this the conversation.
okay.
None of us were there. We can't weigh in on this.
I'm throwing it.
And not even being funny, I'd argue, given like you know what I mean. What's the words I'm looking for?
Huh? Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, gay niggas are way cleaner, dog. I just don't see a gay dude's piss stinking, dog. Like they care about shit. Yeah, like metrosexual as a word was created because the reason metrosexual was created is because we were so used to gay niggas being the only niggas that gave a fuck about washing their ass that we need to come up with another sexual word for this. You know what I mean? So I'll be damned if it was his piss stinking.
Listen,
it probably was you fucking freak.
No, look.
You fucking
I
freak.
know it wasn't me. I
You
know.
copper
I pay
dropping
attention
freak.
to my bowel movements.
You burnt
know?
sienna pissing
Listen,
freak.
I know I got a low attention span. I know when I fucking piss or not. Like, damn. I wouldn't forget.
See, this is definitely like an inner thing for you, like an inner conflict. Because
Oh, yeah,
you
you're
shouldn't
struggling
still
for
be
sure.
eating up about this.
Well,
You know you didn't piss. You shouldn't have to explain that.
Right.
That
well,
argument
what
should
I'm
end
trying
the
to
moment
do
it starts.
is I'm
Well,
trying
it
to
wasn't
get
you idiots.
I'm trying to get Quentin to come on here and defend himself. So really, this is just me calling him out.
No, Quentin's not gonna. Quentin. I love Quentin to death. Quentin will be the producer of this podcast one day whenever it's successful. He's never gonna be on the show.
Man, I don't know though. You don't think if me and him talk about Kingdom Hearts, you don't think I could hook him? With
You're
Hearts?
thinking about Chris. Chris would talk about Kingdom Hearts, but Chris would come on here anyway.
Crap. I've been drinking. That nigga has a Keyblade. What the fuck do you mean?
He bought it. It was $3 fuel. He just thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
He doesn't care.
He doesn't play Kingdom Hearts.
He probably has, but he's not like he's not dedicated. For
Yeah.
the fiend, like
He probably would
fiend
have a
nerd.
casual conversation,
Yeah,
but
you still have
like,
that Keyblade at your house? Yeah, like fuck you, dog. You ain't get. That's mine. That's my Kingdom Key.
He said you could like take it for like $30 or something.
He said, I was like, Alim really wants it. He was like, it's been here for 6 years. He can. I don't care if you tell him to give you $20.
Yeah,
now I will.
the way I'm gonna drop.
No,
$5.
Alim is the only dibs who gets it.
Dude,
I
man,
want it more than you.
When I tell you,
for
motherfuckers,
it.
like motherfuckers don't understand. Like me and Kingdom Hearts, me and motherfucking Kingdom Hearts.
I keep it because I know that if you take it, it's just gonna sit somewhere. You're not actually gonna use it. Like
What
if
do
we ever do get
what
to
do you
one
mean
of the
by
conventions, I'll always have it, and that means that you'll always have it at these things with us.
That is actually really smart. Put a bunch of zippers on my outfit and goddamn grab a Keyblade. You
Exactly.
know, man, you guys don't understand.
Are the zippers part of the game? I've never played it.
So Tetsuya Nomura, who's the character designer for several Final Fantasy games as well as Kingdom Hearts, and he's really known for he was a huge part of Final Fantasy VII. His character designs are known for like zippers. It's like this motherfucker has 6 extra belts hanging off his left fucking thigh. He has 17 zippers that have no fucking function. It's just something about because if you look at his style kind of like bleeds like anime steampunk. Like fantasy steampunk is really like his design style. So like just a lot of fucking zippers. You know what I mean, but you know, back to competitive gaming.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, you can't compete in Kingdom Hearts, but if you could, I'd fuck all of you.
Oh, dude. There's probably speedruns or some shit.
Yeah, no, but that's I mean competitive. Like I'm better with my Keyblade than you. Like
Okay,
speedrunning,
okay.
that is badass. But I fuck with speedrunning, but it's just like that's not the kind of skill level I give a fuck about. Like you know what I mean? Like how much ass do you whoop?
It directly translates.
Well, yeah, because you know you got to whoop a certain amount. But then all right, you know how I have an issue with metas. I feel like speedrunning gets very meta because it turns into like.
Let me tell you this then.
Okay, bet.
Sonic Adventure 2 Hero Story 20 minutes and like 49 seconds.
You did it?
No, that's like
You said 49 seconds?
20 minutes and 49 seconds Hero Story of Sonic Adventure 2. That's like
fucking-
the record or some
That's
shit.
bonkers.
I was telling Creighton about this. I feel like you might know. Do you know who Dream is on YouTube?
Isn't that the dude
I've
that
heard
like
of
is
him.
funny looking?
It's a dude that
The face reveal.
I mean, people said it, but he looks normal. He doesn't.
No,
yeah,
he's
for sure,
a normal. If he didn't
ass
have a
dude,
face
but-
reveal, like
I
be
think
handsome.
like Boy with the
Damn.
Uke went through the same thing. Like,
He said who?
Boy with the Uke.
We know who
Fuck
Dream
about
is,
him.
yes.
Okay, so
Sorry.
Dream is a Minecraft YouTuber. He got famous for doing speedruns. Mm-hmm. Like, beat Minecraft in like 20 minutes or something, which is like, it's a feat. Like, it's hard to do. He got absurd, like one of the biggest people on YouTube because he started doing these Minecraft manhunts where it was him versus his
Like,
buddies.
and they were all. And the thing was, they're all like high level.
They're all
Minecrafters.
decent Minecraft
Yeah.
players. So like, first he did it against one person, and it was like, it was like fucking, it was like kicking a duckling. Like, it wasn't even fair.
Yeah, playing a 6-year-old in Call of Duty.
Yeah, because he's way too good. And so it got to where they did 1 versus 1, one versus 2.
Michael's had me watch these videos.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, I know.
So 1 versus 3, they did 5 episodes. Then they did 5, 1 versus 4. Then they did 5, 1 versus 5. And he comes out best 3 out of 5 on all 3 series. And it's a direct translation from being able to beat the game in 20 minutes. Like, he's so cracked at his knowledge of the game
100%. That's fair. Yeah.
that he
There's a
can beat
speedrunner
5
translation.
people at beating that. It's not just that he's winning either. It's he's playing 5 people, and he's killing all 5 of them multiple times before any of them can kill him once, and beating the game before any of them can kill him once. It's ridiculous.
No, it is very.
It's like that is like a direct translation to skill. Now, with something like Kingdom Hearts or like The Last of Us, for instance, like The Last of Us, you can be cracked at the game, but really you just have to be good at dodging, because a lot of the game getting onto the next part is just getting around all the villains. So you don't necessarily have to be good at fighting them. But in Minecraft, you have to kill the Ender Dragon. You have to kill blazes.
Yeah.
You have to kill things. So you have to be good at the combat. You have to be good at your movement. You have to have a good game knowledge on what to build in what moment to get to what place and where to get a resource that you might not be able to get in that certain seed of the game.
Yeah, no, that's
It's wild.
Yeah, no, that's a very.
It's like
good point.
the amount of the scope of knowledge you have to have for the Minecraft speedrun specific is so crazy compared to something like, I guess, Kingdom Hearts or Sonic. But like Sonic, I would almost say you got to just be good at everything in the game to get past the Sonic game.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah,
there's not like there's not a direct
time
lane.
thing is wild.
There's a lot of like
That's-
hidden like wall go behind this thing shortcuts.
And then even something like Skyrail, you literally just fucking hop off the top and catch a rail at the like that was my foray into speedrunning was I could skip a map like that.
Yeah, but it actually it's way. Watch a 29-minute like
Pokemon Red.
It's kind of cool.
The original
Dude,
Pokemon.
really?
There's a 5-minute version, and it's because you can glitch your way through a certain field
to get
and
to the.
Because every time you take a step, it's an RNG for what Pokemon in the wild are going to be in that grass.
Yeah.
So there's only so many RNGs that can happen.
Yeah.
So if you take a certain path a certain amount of times, you can glitch the game into thinking you're at the end of the Elite Four and beat it. And people have found that because they're autistic.
And that's kind of like
it's
part
ridiculous.
Of my, that's part of my problem with speed running. It's like there's this fine line between like the skill and then like okay, you're cheesing really hard.
Yeah.
And that's with any game that like features competition.
100%.
And that's kind of why I've never. I mean, outside of like just I haven't gotten into competitive gaming.
You just have to love a game really much. Really
you gotta be real fucking because I love Sparking Zero, like the Dragon Ball game that's out right now, dog, and like the kind of bullshit that you deal with on there. It's like I get that like you're good at the game, you know what I mean, but like I don't know how to put it. It's one of those things because like all right, for example, when I lab a game, I don't lab games. Like everything that you ever see me do in any video game is raw. Like I didn't really practice too much. My practice is playing the game, and I'm not knocking people that practice getting good at it. But then that kind of takes like. It takes the coin ops out of it. Like back in the day when motherfuckers were playing Street Fighter, you could only be as good at Street Fighter as the amount of time you were putting into actually fighting in Street Fighter. You couldn't watch a YouTube video. You couldn't memorize other people's combos like that. There was a real organic like aspect to it. So I'm not saying that like skill is removed, but I'm saying that like if there weren't metas, if there weren't known shortcuts and stuff, if there weren't known cheeses, if there weren't known advantages, that's kind of like this weird niche pocket of gaming that I'm really into. Like people who are really good at the game, but they're not really good at it in the way that everybody's really good at it. You know,
I'm not gonna cap. If you were gonna play a competitive game, dude, I would legit just tell you to try to play Apex because like I
fucking love Apex, man. So when Fortnite was big, I loved the battle royale scene. Didn't know about PUBG, found out about PUBG, but I was like, okay, this is gaming needs this. 100 motherfuckers drop in. But it was in third person. I'm not huge on third person shooters. So when I first started playing battle royals, it was Apex, and it was
because the way you're talking too is kind of like okay, yeah, that's the only one you could really get into is probably Apex because it has that skill gap. You have to play it multiple times. You don't know.
When you were outside, we said this.
Like it was gonna be
problem with Apex right now is there's no casual scene.
You have to
play it competitive.
No, none. Like, well, I mean, you can play pubs. You know what I mean? But you're still gonna run into someone trying to get a 20 bomb. You know what I mean?
Yeah, somebody practicing, goddamn, getting right, 100%. Streaming your ass.
You're never gonna fun.
Like, no, but I fucking love, dude. And see, Apex was my translation to Warzone because it was like okay, a first person battle royale. You know, Apex had that market on lock, and then Warzone came out, and I fucked with Warzone because it's a bit more ground to boots and fundamental. But Apex was cool because like I'm a Halo kid. I'm always gonna love powers. Like I get it. Like you might be able to shoot better than me, but
I got a shield, man.
Yeah, it's all these variables that matter
right now, man. It's shield here. It's oh my gosh.
Block these two doors and put a wall up over there and make it where they can only enter through this
it's
one
a support
spot.
meta right now, man. Like you're running Gibby, you're running Newcastle, and you're gonna be running Loba. Like
who's the one with the black ooze wall?
Catalyst.
Yeah,
she's gonna be. We probably gonna use her in our actual comp coming up. It depends.
That seems like the one I see the most now. That's like. And probably because of what you see visually, that's why it would stick in my head. Mm-hmm. Like this person you shoot a door with fucking like venom slime, and it just like you just lock up 3 doors and you build a wall as your old that spans 80 feet. Like it's a crazy character.
It's insane, dude. I wish Warzone had a better competitive like established scene.
Yeah,
I really wish because all it has is kill races.
Again,
dude. I would consider it if it had like an established like. Custom game, custom lobby, like scene, which I don't know how they don't. Like, how don't they have custom games where they could like host full like AM tournament? Like, I don't understand. But if it had a scene like that, dude, I would consider it. But it's just all it is kill races, and then World Series of Warzone once a year. and it's just boring to me, dude.
No, that's fair.
You know, if I'm gonna be grinding something in my head, I'm always grinding for like what's the protein. It's just how my brain's wired.
Do you get a rush out of the challenge? Like, are games not as satisfying to you without
I get a rush out of a week later being like, oh, okay, shit, I'm way better than I was then, or like being like, okay, that was that pro I just went up against. I just killed him. Bet. Let me go to the like. It's just kind of the ladder of like I want to be able to get up here.
That's when I play poker. Every time I play poker, win or lose.
Yep.
Like every time that I sit and play, I think in my brain, I'm better than I was yesterday. I'm better than I was a month ago. Like even on times where I'll go on a crazy losing streak. Like I'll lose fucking for 3 months and not have a winning session, and I'm still in my head like all of this losing is like more info to go back on. Like,
absolutely.
You can lose in this spot. You can win in this spot. You can bluff in this spot. You can blah, 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 blah.
Dude, I like watching poker. There's so much insight to it that I'm just kind of like, I'm probably just going to watch it. You know? Because there's so much to go into it, man.
I tell everybody, like, the only reason I play is because I've been doing it for fucking 20 years. I've been watching and playing I've been playing actively for almost a decade now, but I've been watching the game since I was 6 years old. Like, I can't.
Yeah. It's just wired into you.
It's wired into me. Like,
Nate Hill
the
will go on and play.
I met him at Nick's thing, at the Palms.
Yeah.
Right after I won that tournament. It was so cool talking to him I talked to him for a few minutes about it and just like his mentality on it, and that's a guy who can do anything he wants.
Oh, dude, absolutely.
Nate Hill's one of those guys like Neo.
Poker, yeah.
Like he could be a competitive player in whatever game he wants if he wanted to. He just doesn't want to. He wants to relax. He's a fucking chill person.
Yeah, that's why, like, when he's
playing
poker,
fucking beautiful. It makes me crazy how hot that guy is. I can't believe it. It shouldn't be allowed to be as attractive as like that. He's not. It's not fair. Like in old like barbarian society, you either kill him when he's young, or he's the one killing all the people because he's just better at everything. Like he's the dominant human being of the area. Like it's ridiculous.
I get so hyped when he's like on like Thirsty Thursdays or like Monday Night Poker or something. Yeah. Because I'll put him on and I'll just
him playing at the Hustler is real fun because he's far and away the least experienced, but he's able to make really, to me as a player who's been playing my whole life and watching. His biggest strength is being able to lay down a good hand. He's really good, and that's what will distinguish better players in the long run from like just people who are like. There's a lot of like in the moment poker players who like make a big name for themselves because of a couple big bluffs or a couple big calls or whatever. He's really good at knowing when he needs to get out. Like I might be winning, but I also might not be, and the risk doesn't make enough sense to continue this hand, even if he's winning. Sometimes he'll be winning
like that. He was talking to him like because I watched him Thursday night, and then Friday night he was going over it and he was watching the rerun and kind of explaining stuff. And I was watching him talk about it. I was like, okay, I love that. I love seeing how people's brains move and with stuff like that. It's really good insight to like especially in competitive gaming. But if you can like get how people's brain move in the situation, it's just so much knowledge that I just don't have to figure out.
Exactly,
100%.
And you autofill that. You're like an AI at that point. Like when you get all that info, you just like how you would talk about it 10 years previous is no longer even anywhere close to where you're going to start off. You're 100%. Already so far ahead in the process of what's happening in front of you. It's like if you have a manual, like a fucking. When you build Legos when you're a kid and you have the little instruction manual, it's almost like you're starting on the second to last page.
You see them.
It's like you're on the second to last page instead of the beginning. You're already, all of this, I know how to do all of this. I'm on the last 2 pages. This is where the fucking finality of the situation's about to come into play. Dude, you start off
so
at the end.
true. Like, even when I'm going and trying to find teammates, my biggest thing I ask them is, do you watch it?
Yeah.
Like, do you watch the competitive scene? Do you watch what you're doing? Because for me, it's such a freaking good thing for me to learn. If I just see everyone, even in like school, dude, like I had to see people go through the math problems to be able to
for sure.
That's how they did it. I can now do it. You know, like it translated to everything for me. So now it's like that's why I watch so much Twitch. Whatever I'm doing, I'm watching it because then I can be like, oh shit, he just threw a nade through that crack in the doorway.
Yep.
I can throw that nade crack in the doorway, and it's so. And then like my teammates would be like, how'd you know that? I'd be like, bro, I watched it yesterday. Like,
You know, and it's just like athletes watch film. Athletes watch film when they know that like they don't always, but like if they know that one of the best players in the league is on the other team, they're gonna watch how he plays. Like, what's his pocket? If he's in this position, is he more likely to step back for a fadeaway? Is he more likely to go in for a layup? And I'm not even a sports guy, but I'm very much of the same mindset. Like, 100%. I analyze people. I watch what people do. Why
that
they
way,
do
when
it.
you go up against them, you know exactly where to move.
Exactly.
That's why I really messed with Censor when he played competitive COD, because that's how his mind worked. It was kind of very like, I'm going to study your gameplay, so that way I'm going to have an advantage whenever I'm playing you.
100%.
You know what's crazy?
So
like
dope.
those people that you watch and then they whip out something crazy when you're actually playing them that you've never seen before.
Dude, the people that I play up against Apex, man. It's just really they just played the game longer, man. It really doesn't come down to like skill or shot. Sometimes, with me and my team, it's just they've just been playing longer. They knew that if they slide left in this one moment, they got an advantage on the angle, and we just didn't cover it. You know, 100%. It's a lot of stuff like that. And that's why I'm excited for this year, because we've had a couple years in the game now, and it's kind of like, okay, we think we can really get something done because our experience is there.
That's why I like BR so much. I was saying earlier, it's the scenarios, you know what I mean? Like, it gets to a point with, like, and again, not a competitive guy, not even heavy in the FPS scene, but it's just like, everybody knows these maps. Everybody knows the optimal way to run these maps. Everybody knows how they're going to approach this map. With a BR, like, it's so many variables, and that's my big thing. Like, I'm all about the middle ground of variable and skill. Like, I don't just want meta. I just want absolute. I don't just want that was the best game. I want, like, this motherfucker dropped on this building and waited this long to drop down. This motherfucker literally saw your shadow when you cut the corner here, and they reapplied their entire stuff like that. Like, you know, when I was really in my pocket Warzone during COVID, I mean, I'm talking about fucking pop an Addy, smoke a blunt, play Warzone 12 fucking hours. You know, I'm like having a ball. It gets to the point where, like, you're playing and you're like, all right, me and this guy saw each other. He went upstairs. I'm right here. Based on how he's moving, he's probably going to jump out of this window. And when he jumps out of this window, he's probably thinking, I'm going to jump out of this window. But we're both thinking about this window. So I'm going to stop short on this window. And as soon as you plop down, you might have better aim than me, because my aim is a 6 out of 10. But my awareness and my movement are 8 to 9 out of 10.
Yeah, and that's going to get you.
Fry you.
That's why Nick is so good at 34 years old. His positioning.
It's how you think outside of it.
Is the most important part
of the reflexes, you can't beat the 19-year-old on Monster.
I can go into that so much, dude. Like, even some of my teammates be like, dude, how is Nick still like competing? And like, I don't even think he's that good. I'm like, bro, you haven't watched him, dude.
Yeah,
you haven't watched him. Like, he's just very consistent in everything he does. Like, his positioning is godly. His centering.
He's been an old gamer for 8 years. if you're older than 23, guess what? You're gone. You're in the fucking end of your gaming era. The dude's 34. 8 years ago, he's 26 years old.
Yeah.
Dude, I've been watching him for a decade, bro. He was at the end of his prime gaming when I started, usually. Yeah. And he's been competing consistently in all the big games since then, bro.
And it's just like sports. Like, there's athleticism and then there's IQ.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He's IQ.
Strategy.
But, dude,
he's a strategy master on gaming.
I'm excited for when, DNA starts scrimming and stuff again, because I love watching them, but the you can tell, like, he played tons of fucking Gears, because one, I have a couple Gears homies that played a shit ton, and you can always tell, like, because they're really good at centering. If they played lots of Gears, like, their centering is kind of on fucking point, because they had to be. Like, you had basically no aim assist, and, like, you were trying to go around the game doing that stuff, and you can tell, like, he places himself in the perfect place and backs him up a certain amount, so that way when he goes across the screen, his centering can just follow that. And, like, my homie Dave is just like that too. Like, his centering is really, really good because of that. All the Gears he used to play back in the day and shit. So
I can't remember if it was Gage or Neo, but one night, like 7 or 8 years ago, they were in stream talking, playing Call of Duty, and, like, in between matches, when they were doing S&D and grinding that, the stream is like 80% talking and then an S&D match. So it's like a really community-driven chat back then. That's why I think why so many of us were so, like, anchored into that community, is because it was all communication. And so we were talking about, like, inside baseball gaming type shit, like, what made them great. Like, people would ask, like, send up $5 donation, like, how did ask Neo how blah, blah, blah. And they would be like, how did you get so good at centering? And Neo or Gage, one of them said, I think it was Gage, because it sounds like something he would do. He was like, well, I had, like, clay, you get Crayola clay, and I got a little tiny piece, and I put it in the center of my screen so it was always there. And so I just focused on that. And then like people in chat were like, "What?" Like, that's crazy. I started doing that on year 2 of Black Ops 3, and
got to top 300 players in every game mode really fast.
It's
like it was, except
makes
S&D.
sense, dude. No, I get it, dude.
It's terrible and S&D on any Call of Duty is garbage if you're in like quick play. If you're not in competitive,
no, that's true. That's
it's the worst game mode.
Nah, bro, 100%.
Not to get back onto the speedrunning thing, but like speedrunning old games to me is just wild. Like,
so to get back on it,
yeah. To get back on it without taking away from what you guys are talking about. I was the whole time whenever you said that about the Sonic speedrunning, I watched the video a while back of this guy speedrunning Mario 64. Dude, like,
I don't know
it's
how they
nuts,
do it, man.
and it was
It's
about the
just
same
fascinating
time
to
frame,
watch.
like 15 to 19 minutes somewhere in there. He was doing it at that.
It's fascinating to watch, dude.
Dude, they've gotten to the point where, like, have you seen when they do it with like weird peripherals? Like,
Yeah.
there are guys who play the keyboard. They're like, guys are like,
dude, the woman who plays Elden Ring, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
She plays Elden Ring on the hardest difficulty twice. She plays one on a Dance Dance Revolution footpad, and the other one on a Guitar Hero guitar, plays them at the same time, beats them both on the hardest difficulty. Nick played Elden Ring for 3 weeks before he beat the final boss. He played the final boss alone for 3 weeks, is what I mean, like, before he was able to beat it. This lady beat the game twice.
That's
bananas.
Yeah.
The level of skill in a game like that, like, that just came out. Like, it's not like she's been playing for a decade.
Oh no, it's very recent of a game. Like 2024.
It's
like,
insane how good people can
fucking
get at a game.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
Blows my mind, man. But that's why it drives me, dude. If
Oh,
I can
really?
get to that level,
Yeah.
I'm fucking stoked. That's why I fucking play games, to be honest. That's to the point where sometimes solo games kind of bore me because I'm kind of like, I'm not here to get better. I'm just here to enjoy myself.
Well, I think for me, the solo games, it's almost like I can't play any of them. I gotta play the best ones. I gotta play God of War Ragnarok. I gotta play The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta play the ones that are just a movie because I'm such a big film dork.
Yeah.
I gotta watch I gotta play the ones that are a movie. Firewatch. It's just a good movie.
Well, we were talking about that kind of sort of with the very first episode that we had Liam on. We were somehow memory cards came up on PlayStation 2 and all the old consoles. I, for the longest time, just didn't have them. I didn't know they were a thing. I didn't have a memory card, so I would just play as far
into the game as you could,
and then just redo it.
Yeah.
Wow.
like an arcade cabinet.
Yeah.
Like Haunted Mansion. That used to be, or the Haunted, whatever the fucking zombie game at arcades was. There's a story.
Wow.
Yeah.
But you can only get
I
so
know what
far
you're
because
talking
you
about.
have $2 in quarters.
Yeah.
But, like, motherfuckers would sit and play it, and like there are people who are so good they can play it on one buy and not get hit and do the whole story.
Yeah,
like,
it's nuts.
there is a campaign to those cabinet games. The
and
Dragon's Lair.
The Dragon's Lair,
It's like the
the
most
fucking Halo
notoriously hard
game that's at Dave & Buster's, that one has a story. I don't know if it's canon.
It's
but,
not a very good story. It's barely a story.
Yeah. There's a Jurassic World one and a Jurassic Park one. I've seen those at Player One Up. I was going to ask you something earlier, too. I forgot what the fuck it was. It had to do with the arcade game thing.
Arcade games?
No, not exactly. Damn it, it'll come back to me. It just, went through my head, and then it went right back out. Because as soon as he said that about the cabinet games, I was, on a roll of, cabinet games.
This one.
It's a Murder House or something like that.
Oh, yeah, one of those, zombie games.
Where, because that's where the zombie comes at you with the hatchets.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I don't know if you... Did you ever go to the arcade a lot when you were growing up?
No, dude. I was a little Nintendo kid that played his Game Boy and his GameCube until I got that Xbox.
Oh, dude. The DS and the Game Boy was revolutionary for me because then you could actually save your games.
Yeah.
100%.
I played Pokemon Crystal 35 times before really realizing that overwriting your save data meant actually saving the game. I thought it was bad, so I didn't do it. I just restarted the game 30 times.
We had this conversation.
Because I was 6 years old.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know. I just didn't know. I was dumb.
Bro.
Liam's got that look of judgment.
Yeah. That was pretty
Bathroom
bad.
over there.
Yeah, it's right through there.
I grew up on fucking Legend of Zelda.
Oh, goated. I want to get Wind Waker for the GameCube so bad.
Hell yeah. You know how hard it is to fucking find that?
It's expensive.
Yeah,
man.
no, that's just like a fucking classic.
Yeah.
It's
GameCubes are officially collectible items now rather than
especially with them
consoles.
funky ass discs. Niggas should have seen it coming, these funky ass discs.
Yeah.
PSP, same way.
Yeah, funky ass discs. Yeah, whenever this shit's extra funky, it's probably going to be worse on one day. It's funky ass shit.
Well, I wish I still got my PSP somewhere,
This
but
cat
the
is
battery
fucking-
pack just fucking expanded. scanned it and like
Jesus
killed it.
Christ.
So it needs a new battery.
Put it in
pack.
a microwave, motherfucker? Like,
No, I found it so it sat in a drawer for a long time, and one day I was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna get that shit out." And like I go to get it out, and the battery pack's just like 3 times bigger than what it was supposed to be.
Oh, that's weird,
like off the one side because it's
Yeah.
been sitting in it all these years, and they're fucked up the screen. It's like the console itself is fine, like the handheld itself is fine. It's just the fucking battery pack.
Oh, yeah.
So I gotta find it and refurbish it, but I have it somewhere because I played all of the Force Unleashed on.
Yeah,
that
they
fucking
were fucking dang. They were fucking dang.
I played that one. I played. I had Madagascar 2 on mine. Like I had it on the fucking. I didn't have the game. I had the movies. Madagascar.
I had the Paul Blart movie, the first one on PSP.
Mall Cop.
Yeah,
yeah,
great movie.
I figured out how to burn it from the disc that it was
second
on.
one is very
so I
good.
was like, I'm putting fucking movies on my PSP so I can be watching that shit.
No, hell yeah, no, and that was what was really cool about the PSP was that how do I put it? The same way that Androids have always had more accessibility and functionality to them versus an iPhone.
Yeah.
Like iPhone is just now where you can save PDFs to it. Like just now in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Whereas like Android day one, like this is also a flash drive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was a PSP. A PSP hypothetically, you could put your school projects on your PSP.
Yeah, I tried that at one point.
Yeah.
I was just having fun with like fucking around, figuring out. I will say, like, I'm like the dumb kid that would never read like instructions or anything.
Yeah, for sure.
So I didn't realize PSP had like a joystick on it for the longest time. I thought that little.
You thought it was
thing-
just a little.
I thought it was a speaker. I thought it was a speaker.
You're you're from the South so painfully.
So I was always
That's
using
crazy.
the D-pad, and then like when I was starting.
But like,
Bro.
it was right there. You were playing it. Not okay. That's different though.
That's
can't, like-
autism. That's like a severe.
that's-
Yeah, because you're
problem.
too smart for something.
Well,
that
so
fucking
like
stupid.
it kept saying hit R3 or whatever it is because you can actually push that down.
Okay,
to
now,
click it.
so,
That
yeah.
took me a while.
No,
Yeah.
before you. That's every gamer because they never like the only way you would know what R3 was if you like looked in your PS2 handbook. Looked
Yeah,
at the
That's what
fucking
I'm
document
saying.
of the controller.
The PSP had the same thing, so I knew what R3 was at the time, but I was like, "What the fuck? There's no fucking joystick."
Oh
on
no,
here.
you're running out. Like
Yeah.
you keep adding info that's making this more embarrassing. Because if you knew what R3 was, you should have enough analog stick awareness to
No, that's a freaking.
What the fuck is this circle thing right here that has a finger grip on it? You fucking. And I get it. The grip does kind of give like speaker. You know, they're both textured. You fucking dunce.
You might be the silliest goose of them
One
all.
day I bumped it, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
That's crazy.
That's embarrassing.
So silly.
That shit's crazy.
Anyways, if you guys want to wrap on that, we can. Charlie kind of stood up and looked at the time.
I just didn't know where we were. I was just looking.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
kind of
care.
hungry, low key.
It's up to you guys.
Yeah.
I'm down
Yeah.
to wrap, continue. I
do
could do this for 3 hours, 4
I
hours.
got some.
You got stuff to do.
Not really stuff to do. My little brother wants to see me.
Your little brother wants. Man, fuck your little brother.
Watch it,
Like,
fuck
no, I'm
him.
just kidding.
I have my boy, and not only that too. But
Y'all tell me when, because I can talk gaming all fucking day.
Yeah, no, look, that
Every
was
time
like,
you and me get together, we do this.
this is the
100%.
longest episode we've done of this season so far. Like, I think we stayed around like an hour and a half, like an hour 35.
Yeah, it was
We're at
consistent
like
good,
we're
too.
almost at 2 hours. So,
Yeah.
like
It's very well stated.
Yeah.
Very,
We did a
very-
5.5 hour shirts off one time. That's
We
the
did,
longest we ever
yeah.
went, me and Craig.
that was the election
Talking about
night.
the economy of words.
Right?
Yeah,
This
not
was
a lot.
more
Not
about
a
the
great
economy.
time.
We were fucking. It was on election
The
night.
words of economy.
The last
Yeah,
election. The
Not the one that
Biden
just
Trump
happened,
one
yeah.
when Biden won.
Yeah, I'm knowing.
Yeah,
But we thought it was gonna be like the one previous where it ended that
yeah.
night.
We should have streamed this last
It
election.
did. You know, you remember that one? It went like 3 days before we really knew.
Yeah,
And so we didn't.
People
we just
were,
kept
like,
streaming 'cause we
camping
thought it was
out.
gonna be over.
you know, got little porta potties out and stuff.
We were
just
mad. We were
hanging
like,
out.
I guess we gotta
Porta
end it
potties.
without knowing.
You don't
who
remember
won. We
people
were
were
hoping
like
we have
camping
like a
out,
winner
trying
or
to
a
figure out what
loser.
was going to happen. Like, you know, you had newscasters sitting outside of like polls and just chilling and stuff. Nobody knew who was going to make a concession speech. You know,
It was
do
hilarious.
you remember Hillary's concession speech?
No.
She's standing like under a glass ceiling because she was going to make a whole thing about like, I broke through the glass ceiling, and she wasn't expecting Trump to just slide in there and be like, no way. God, that was funny. Anyways.
Anyway,
Sorry. I love visuals of like, you know, people like, oh, I'm gonna about do some shit, and then, you know.
my favorite form of
crushes
storytelling is visual storytelling on an audio platform. That's what you're doing right now.
Am I? I described everything. It was good.
What a
You did a good job.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
I feel like you can only take this so far after.
What am I gonna do? Build a
this
glass
far into
ceiling
the
above
thing?
me? Like, what did you want me to do?
I don't know where we're going with this anymore.
That's why I'm just letting him. This
I'm
is my
just
favorite
thinking-
part is when he doesn't know what's
Oh,
happening.
dude,
that's
I'm not
true.
gonna cap. You're saying glass ceiling. I'm just thinking like freaking Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Just
Yeah.
going through
Oh, the glass
ceiling.
elevator, dude.
That was a sick scene.
The one in the remake with Johnny Depp. That I like that glass elevator much better than the other one because they're like, oh, it's a glass elevator, but you can't fucking tell. It's a
Well,
golden
they
elevator.
were definitely able to play with that idea a lot more, like with modern technology.
Yeah. Mm.
I was talking. Who was I talking to? Dinosaur. Do you remember the Disney movie Dinosaur with Aladar?
I just remember Land
Before Time.
Land Before Time. Yeah.
That's about
Dinosaur.
the CGI joint.
Yeah, well, it's so the
Got
reason
the
it looked
lemurs in
so
it.
good at that time was because the only thing CGI are the characters. All of the backgrounds are live action.
That's so smart.
That's why you remember it being so much better so long ago. Because I watched like the first 30 minutes with my friends the other night, and I was like, guys, they were like, how is this movie 25 years? It came out in 2000 or 2001.
Oh, you're talking about
Dinosaur.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
called
I saw it in
Dinosaur.
theaters.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And the CGI, to be fair, is still like The Last of Us. Like, it's still like very good animation, like ridiculously good animation for it's not just for the time, but like period.
Yeah.
But the fact that it came out 7 years after Jurassic Park is ridiculous. I was like, they could have just done this for Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
It's 7 years after the first Jurassic Park movie, and so it's a wild way to think of it that way. Because if you think about it that way, that was a 7-year difference. We are now 25 years later.
Yeah.
We are like that was pre 9/11 graphics.
32
Dinosaur.
32
and now
years out
25
from
years.
Jurassic Park too, because there was CGI in that. You know?
Yeah, barely though. Like
Yeah.
like the T-Rex scene in the rain is a
Yeah.
robot.
Animatronic,
It's
right?
an animatronic, like which is fucking why. It's why that scene holds up so well.
It also does really well because I've been on the ride at Universal when I was a kid,
Yeah.
and I'm assuming it's of the same
It's
ilk.
very
and
similar.
it's actually like you're like, all right, if dinosaurs were fucking real, this is it, right? In this moment, this
Yeah.
is like, and especially because like you see the T-Rex right before a fucking 40-foot waterfall.
Yeah.
So for that fucking 2 seconds, them 3 frames I saw that nigga, I assume that's what they would look like.
Well, people talk shit about the new Jurassic World movies, which they're not as good of a film. They're still really great dinosaur flicks. They're fun. I liked all 3 of the new ones. I'm excited about the newest ones that are about to come out with Mahershala Ali and Scarlett Johansson. Like, they look fucking awesome. But like these last 3, people were just mad that it wasn't the original Jurassic Park. What?
I'm sorry. Like, she really wants to get in my lap. If cats get a little bit too close, I'm a little bit allergic to cats.
Oh, sorry. man.
No, you're good. You're good. It's just funny. I tried to put her off 3 times. She just like came straight back.
The thing I like about the new ones, when you said just
amazing
then, like,
cat,
if
though.
they
She's
were
dope.
real, this is what they look like.
yeah.
Something the new ones did, like if you really, this is gonna sound so dorky, but if you like really fuck with dinosaurs and like the science of like knowing what they may have looked like or not, original Jurassic Park is very far from what it probably really was, and it's way more likely now from what we're finding that they were all covered in feathers.
Yeah, giant bird type.
Basically
things.
giant birds. And the new Jurassic World, like, they take that into account with not only the way they're telling the story of the new movies, but why it would have been the way it was in the original trilogy. Like, they looked like that because you had to fill in gaps. And to fill in gaps...
incomplete.
You have to take stuff away. So they looked like that because they had to take away the genes that would allow for feathers, because also they were going to now be in a climate that didn't require it. And, like, all kinds of different things. And so... little tiny things like that, I'm like, as a movie nerd, I'm like, that's building your world. But as a science nerd, it's also, that's you being accountable for the way the field has changed.
Yeah.
And also,
Yeah.
everyone was like, I want this to be Jurassic Park. Everyone wants a new Jurassic movie to be the first one. This unbelievable film.
You can't break ground like that again.
I'm like, dude, no, I want dinosaurs. I just want silly, dumb dinosaur action. I want the bad guy to get eaten at the end. That's what I want. It's fun. It's silly, it's fun, it's dumb. Like, I don't care if it's dumb.
I did like Indominus. Indominus was cool.
Indominus Rex was sick. The first one was the best one. As far as film goes, the first Jurassic World with Chris Pratt, unbelievable. Really a good movie. Not just a fun dinosaur flick. The second and third one were way more silly, kind of like action adventure, just like probably very easy to write. Like, it probably wasn't like...
we're selling you on the dinosaurs.
Yeah, and it was sick. It was fun. It was interesting. But the first of each trilogy was far and away
the greatest. They were the best.
Yeah.
And it's because they're the same movie. Like, they're very much the same movie. Like, in a lot of ways. A lot like episode 7 and episode 4.
100%.
Were just the same movie back to back. And, like, sometimes you just need to remake it. Sometimes you just need to, like, change some names around and you got a good movie again. Because 7 was the only one of that trilogy that was even close.
It's passable.
To being a
somehow
good movie.
7 was good.
But it's passable because it's...
Somehow Palpatine returned. That was good. That was funny.
That's probably where we close it, yeah?
Yeah, no, I'm down. All right, so this is the end of episode 5.
3.
Evanescence.
4.
Episode 3
7.
Still has not released a new episode.
And it's still a superior podcast.
Still on hiatus.
It's all about quality over quantity. There you go.
I'd say if you got the best episode 3 podcasts and the best Shirts Off podcasts, if you did a top 10 list and both were featured, there are more episodes of episode 3 on that top 10 than there are episodes of the Shirts Off.
Well, no, of course you don't disagree.
Yeah.
We also have the benefit of, like, it's a much more condensed
Only one
file.
person is in both of them. And he's the one saying the thing.
Yeah, but only one of us is right, and it's me. So,
well,
you think just because we're in your house, on your platform, with your equipment, and I don't even tell him what the equipment is. I'll let him think there's some fucking gangster shit going on. Fuck you. Last time I checked, bitch, episode 3, every episode is recorded, camera work. You can see my face. That sells the shit right there. Fuck you. You guys have a good night.
Or day. It's probably the day for
I don't give a fuck what time it is, guys. Have a
episode
good
3
time.
sucks. It's off worlds.
That's a wild